Ahem.
Agent Dark, mission log 2000 hours. Last night we got a call from Cassidy DeViris. A dataDyne team has taken Sharky von Malibu hostage at their private villa on the coast, and they say they will spare their life in exchange for a good Game Boy game. Unfortunately, we don't have one. Sharky and Dr. Feelgood were at the villa to discuss matters of stream stacks. Looks like Sharky found their way to hide energy drinks inside the villa when the dataDyne hit squad arrived. Hopefully, our phony streamer ploy will give us a chance to surprise the dataDyne squad. This time, it's not just my snacks on the line.
Very good. Thank you, Johnny Dark. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color. This is the show in which we play Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color. Released August 28th, 2000 in North America, September 21st, 2000 in Europe, exclusively for the Game Boy Color, by which I mean this version of the game exclusively for the... There was an N64 game called Perfect Dark. Maybe you've heard of it. And this was developed in-house by Rare's Game Boy Color team and published by Rare as well. Okay, so before we get started here, and we do have a little bit of history to get to with this one as well, where we'll get into a little bit of the development, as much as is known about this particular product, but let me ask you, as a general brand IP, what's your familiarity with Perfect Dark, Johnny?
So I don't believe my older sister had this on Nintendo 64 as a kid. I think the first one I would have played was Zero, actually. But I did eventually play the Xbox 360 remaster, and that was a great time. That was a lot of fun to go through. Turns out when that game runs at 60 FPS, it holds up amazing. And yeah, but this Game Boy one though, yeah, I know. Outside of its functionality with the N64 version via that N64 Game Boy
pack.
expansion pack, the transfer pack, yes. Aside from that, I have no clue about this one.
So, for my part, I'm a huge fan of Perfect Dark on the N64. What you might even say it's one of my favorite games of all time. I would dare to say. We'll get into that a bit too during the history. We'll just gush about this goddamn game for the N64 a little bit, why don't we? As far as this Game Boy Color version is concerned, I've never played it through to completion. Certainly didn't play it contemporaneously. I've played enough of it to know that it does in fact belong on this show, on this Bad Game Hall of Fame. Your mileage may vary. I know there are some folk who are a fan of this one. I know some folk in the GoldenEye Perfect Dark community who hold a soft spot for this handheld version of the game. This is a prequel game. This is the prehistory of Joanna Dark prior to the N64 game, which they again did with Perfect Dark Zero, as I'm to understand it. So a prequel to the prequel. Yeah. They just got to keep retelling her origin story. And when really the perfect origin story is Perfect Dark on the N64. That's all you need, really. But we'll get into that. A question from chat, Blahats asks, what is the Perfect Dark? 30% cacao, 65% cacao? I like a 90%. I do like a dark chocolate for my part. You get into dark chocolate much?
A little bit. I don't know if I'd go that dark. I think there's a perfect amount of dark you can go for. Like somewhere in the middle. Good balance.
Fair enough. Big Boy Big in chat, who says, as someone who had this as a kid, I would say it's technically pretty impressive for the Game Boy Color, but kinda plays like dog water. Oh, believe you me, we will get into it as we get into the game. But first, why don't we tuck in to a little bit of games history. Over here on the main stage. And there we are. And here is a slide featuring GoldenEye 007 for the N64. This here, also one of the greatest games of all time, in my mind. Me and Dan Reichert agree. I would take this over a Half-Life any day of the fucking week. When Rare first set about working on this game, after they got the license to make a James Bond GoldenEye 007 tie-in game, they originally envisioned it as a title for the Super Nintendo. There's a brief point in time where they also envisioned it as a driving game, a primarily driving game for the Virtual Boy. Mercifully, these designs fall through as they endeavor to put it out on the N64 and assign their B team to it, a bunch of amateurs on this team, headed by Martin Hollis, who I think was initially like a second tier programmer on some of their prior games. Rare at this time were like on fire in the good way, in the positive way. You know, their Super NES output, the Donkey Kong Country in particular, they were definitely Nintendo's favorite third-party developer of the times. And so this GoldenEye game was not expected to do well. This GoldenEye game, lingering in development for something like 2.5 years, something with like a $2 million budget. This B team basically just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. The multiplayer, the famous multiplayer in this game, literally a last minute addition to it because at the very last second, someone had the bright idea, what if we had multiplayer in it? It's that kind of, you know, wild development that usually turns out complete dog shit, that usually does not result in a top tier product. But in this case, with GoldenEye 007 for the N64 releasing August 23rd, 1997 in Japan, August 25th, North America, November 7th, 1997 in Europe, they accidentally went and struck gold. GoldenEye on the N64 goes on to sell, cumulatively, over 8 million units worldwide, which only ranks it as the third best-selling N64 game of all time. Number 1 being Super Mario 64, number 2 being Mario Kart 64. The game goes on to gross $250 million worldwide, which is more than 70% of GoldenEye the movie's box office, despite only having 3.3% of the movie's budget. That is by a essay from the ESA, where they call video games serious business for America's economy, which you can read here if so inclined. But just to speak a little more informally about it, yeah, GoldenEye 007 is great. The mission-based structure, the objectives within each mission, the way they scale with the difficulty and difficulty levels, the way the AI acts sort of dynamically, the illusion of it all, the stage design, the assortment of weapons, that multiplayer mode, which is, you know, effectively pretty bare bones for what it's worth, but is still just so iconic, and so many hours spent playing that. Yeah, it's just a really good game, as it turns out. What's your take on GoldenEye, Johnny?
Yeah. No, I agree with most of those points. I think the most critical I get is kind of the last little chunk of the game. I think of when it becomes a lot of like escorts and corridors filled with turrets, where I imagine that was kind of like without as much polish as the early stuff. But yes, a lot of this game still holds up very well. It, you know, you say the multiplayer's bare bones. It invented this style of multiplayer. Like console split screen multiplayer for first person shooters wasn't really a thing before this.
Okay, I'll grant
There's
that.
a couple of there's like a couple of like console games that had like barely used link cable support, and that was about it. But in that and bot match stuff as well, I don't know if that got popularized with this or
No, there was no
Perfect
bot
Dark.
match in GoldenEye 64.
Oh, yeah,
It
that's
got
Perfect
popularized
Dark
in Perfect
then,
Dark. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah,
For
like
consoles,
the ripple
basically what you're
effect.
saying. The point you're making is that for consoles, this
Yes.
is deeply innovative. For PC, you know, this was the big debate at the time and still to this
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Also want to thank Sailor Soapbox for resubscribing,
thank
who
you
wonders
very much.
aloud how someone can have a galore of pussy. James Bond fans here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, so we get that. Yeah, people who talk about how PC games were just so far and ahead of what GoldenEye was doing. You know, as a PC player myself, as someone who, you know, grew up with Doom and Quake and games of that nature, no, this hangs. This is its own thing. It is uniquely console flavored, but at the same time, if this had come to PC, it would be heralded as being like an innovator in that space if it had been designed for that initially, just based on like the way the missions play out, the variety of objectives, the variety of stages, the way that, you know, it has you attacking times on them, that it really incentivizes, and, you know, basically born the speedrunning community as we know it. A lot of that comes from, you know, people running GoldenEye and Perfect Dark because of the very unique way in which these missions are structured and the way they're uniquely replayable and just the amount of things to experience in the game, the secrets you can go out of your way for. Masterclass game design, one might say. So, with that being said, how the hell do you improve on GoldenEye 007? Well, I have a suggestion. Make it star a lady!
A lady.
So, Perfect Dark 64. Just Perfect Dark. I always append the 64 to it just because of modern nomenclature. But, shortly after GoldenEye 007 comes out, Rare was going to make the tie-in for Tomorrow Never Dies as well. But then they got outbid by Electronic Arts, who would, of course, go on to task that game to Black Ops Entertainment and put out an all-time stinker for the PlayStation 1. But it's just as well because internally at Rare, they're done with Bond at this point. They're like, okay, what more can we say about Bond? Let's do a unique IP at this point. Let's continue in the framework that we've laid out because that GoldenEye game was pretty good. And if we're going to follow it up, let's put our own unique spin on it, our own original character, incorporating elements of sci-fi conspiracies because they were all watching the X-Files at the time, and having the then bold decision to star a female protagonist, a female secret agent in Joanna Dark. Because someone on the team was like, yeah, there's not enough games starring ladies. We should probably do something about that. And so they did. And so May 22nd, 2000 in North America, June 30th in Europe, you get Perfect Dark's release. There's also a Japanese release somewhere there that I didn't mark the date for. We're looking at the Japanese box art because Japanese box art for N64 games is vertically tall, and I prefer vertically tall images for these slides that we do. It's also just the fucking coolest cover. I mean, look at that shit. They were going to call the game originally in Japan Red and Black was going to be the tentative title for it because they thought it would play better than Perfect Dark. Ultimately, they go with Perfect Dark, but they still keep the red and black color schema for the marketing in Japan. And oh god, that's such a fucking cool image. Anyhow, Perfect Dark goes on to become the second best-selling game of May 2000 in North America, right behind the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy Color. And it does not sell as well as GoldenEye. Ultimately, it does not sell as well as GoldenEye. I think cumulatively, it manages to sell around 3.2 million units. That's by Mark of Game designer Chris Tilston, former Rare developer, in an interview with Eurogamer. Does not set the world on fire in the same way, despite being even better than GoldenEye, despite being quite possibly the best N64 game of all time, if not one of the best first-person shooters of all time. I fucking adore Perfect Dark. It is everything that GoldenEye does, dialed up to fucking, not 11, like to like 110. It perfects every loose idea they threw against the wall in GoldenEye and turns it into like god-honest game design with like actual intention behind it and an actual thought put into it rather than just the tossing spaghetti against the wall strategy. It has the best multiplayer fucking ever. Just the amount of customization you can do, choosing where each weapon spawns on the map, each of those weapons you want, giving individual personalities to the AI opponents so you can just do 1v8 matches against the CPUs, fucking the co-op modes for going through the single player, the counter-operative mode where you can have someone play as every enemy in the level against you as, you know, Joanna Dark. Just the structure of the missions, the places you go, the gadgets you use, just fucking Joanna Dark being cool as hell. Oh my god, this game, I love it. There's only one problem with it. There's only one issue with this otherwise perfect game, and that is the fact that it runs like dog shit. That is the big caveat for playing it on N64, is that the frame rate when you push it, when you enable high-res textures, or even without, there are just times, oftentimes, it will just chug. Definitely, you need the expansion pack. Otherwise, all you can do in the game is play a little bit of Combat Simulator, the multiplayer mode. So they estimate like roughly 35% of the game is available without the expansion pack. And even then, it runs like even worse dog shit trying to play it without that. But, nowadays, and I'm going to highly recommend seeking out the PC recompilation of this game, since folk have cracked the code on the source code and whatnot, and have made it run natively on PC. Not to mention there's the Xbox Live Arcade version that you mentioned playing on Xbox 360. And those... If you want to play it with like a controller, that's the best way. If you want to play it with a mouse and keyboard, or I guess, the PC version also has controller support on some level. Just find a way to play Perfect Dark. Promise me, you watching this playthrough right now, watching this video on YouTube and or twitch.tv, that if you've not played Perfect Dark, please fucking play Perfect Dark. It's really that good. Johnny, do you have any Perfect Dark N64 thoughts at all?
Yeah. It's fair to say the performance gets real rough. This was, tail end of the console's lifespan, pushing the hardware arguably beyond what it was capable of. And it's hard to say now, but I do wonder how much of that possibly affected things, both, the console being like on its last legs and its performance stuff. Also want to highlight, it's also great how well this game came out, considering most of the key leads from GoldenEye 007 had left the project halfway through to form their own studio. I assume, I don't assume, I know, I don't know why I said that. You'll find out about them another time. Trust me on that. But,
Yes, we will
despite
get to
that,
them.
I hadn't looked it up until recently. I assumed they had left like close to end. No, they left like almost like before halfway through the project even, and it still came out as good as it did. So that's commendable as well, that even like different members of Rare were able to pick up and expand on it. Is commendable as well.
And
great game. And
the game
worth
is
playing
only
today.
like half realized too. Like, for what its original vision was, it was originally going to have like elements of lighting and darkness. I see Carmen in chat mentioning like dynamic lighting on fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. Ran like shit, but it was very impressive. Perfect Dark was originally going to have that until they realized it was not fucking tenable, that there was originally like a flashlight you would use to see in the dark and whatnot, and they just had to scrap that. They scrapped a lot of stuff in this game. They scrapped a feature where you would plug in a Game Boy camera using the transfer pack and map the faces onto the faces of the character models in the multiplayer mode, so you could play as and shoot at your friends. Then a little thing called Columbine happened, and similarly, this is like a complete tidbit as well, but the Japanese version of Perfect Dark, which has a different face for Joanna Dark, by the way. They did a different on her, a render on her face. But they also get rid of knives in the Japanese version of Perfect Dark, because this is also around the time of the famous like school stabbing incident. So they censor that and replace some knives in some of the missions with curious stuff. Curious game, near perfect game, if not for that frame rate. And at the same time, they are working on this N64 game, basically simultaneously being developed in parallel, is its Game Boy Color adaptation. Because the idea would be that there would be some crossover, that there would be some way to, with that transfer pack, plug the Game Boy Color game in and unlock extra features and stuff in the N64 game to try and capitalize on both those ends. And also it's the fact that Rare were, again, technical wizards who were using this period to show off that they were technical wizards. And so Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color is being designed with the intention to be the biggest and most technically impressive Game Boy Color game of all time. We'll see if they stick the landing on that. First, I'm going to see about our next slide. So back in the day, the Rareware.com official Rare website was kind of bumping. They were kind of terminally online, these Rare developers, and would post like every little bit of insight they could and just engage with their community on the nascent internet. And something cool they used to do on their websites is they would have a feature called the Tepid Seat. It's sort of a take on the hot seat, if you will, wherein they would field a bunch of questions. They would get emailed a bunch of questions from fans and so forth, and they would put them all together, answer a whole bunch of them in a row, and then post that as an article on the website. And so towards the end of June 2005, give or take, they were never good about posting actual post dates for whenever they updated the website, is the unfortunate thing. But what we have here, what we're going to sample a little bit of, we're going to read a little bit from, is the tepid seat conducted with the Game Boy Color team at Rare. It's a very long article. We've linked to it here, the archive of it here. I'm going to hone in on questions that specifically relate to Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color, which I will also mention at the same time that their Game Boy Color team was working on Perfect Dark, they had actually split their team of 20 people, I believe, in half. So you had roughly 10 working on Perfect Dark and another 10 working on Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color. So DKC comes up a whole bunch in this interview as well, alongside the Perfect Dark questions. So I'll read questions out loud, Johnny, and if you could read the answers, I'd be much appreciative if you can bring up the doc on your end so you can zoom in and do what you got to do. And I'll get it started with question 6 in this interview. Is there only one group of people working on Game Boy Color games? And who the hell made the hurdles race in Conker's Pocket Tale so damned hard? Punch him in the nose for me, says Bender.
Currently, the Game Boy team is split into 2 teams, the Donkey Kong team and the Perfect Dark team. This is flexible, so the next game could have everyone working on it. The hurdles race is really easy, so you just want to play better. Bender.
Yeah, they were also full of sass. They also sassed their fans all the time, as well they should. Rare fans, some of the most obsessive fans in the games business, especially at the time. Some of also the most fucking annoying people to deal with online. As someone who was a forums user in the early 2000s, Rare fans were insufferable. If I have to hear about fucking ice keys or stop and swap one more time, is what I told myself every day logging into forums in the early 2000s. Anyhow, we move on to the next question, question 10. It seems more companies are releasing Game Boy tie-in games for their N64 games, but they're usually just that, tie-ins and nothing more. Do you guys focus on Game Boy games as being separate, self-contained entities, or are you guys a little influenced by the supporting role idea, writes Manic Creature?
That depends on the project. It's impossible to convert Nintendo 64 games to the Game Boy, so we try to retain the main themes of the original title. Take Perfect Dark, for example. The Game Boy version is set before the Nintendo 64 game. We also try to do standalone games such as Mickey Racing.
Oh yeah, that's right, they did do that Mickey Racing game. I think we played that on Cursed Kart Racers. Wasn't good.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Conker's Pocket Tales might come up a couple times during this. It came up already. Can I say that game is interesting? It's jam-packed with mini games and such. It's also a game where if you plug it into your Game Boy, you get a completely different game.
Yeah.
You get a full campaign that like runs parallel to the Game Boy Color version of it. That, you know, revisits a lot of the same set pieces. It's an interesting one. I don't know if it's actually good, but it is interesting. And that's what you can say about a lot of Rare games at the time, is that, you know, they may not have been to my taste, but they were interesting. Speaking of interesting, let's get some more questions here, why don't we? Question 12. Since you make the best first-person shooters of the universe, have you got any plans of releasing a first-person shooter on the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy Advance? I know Game Boy Color wouldn't probably handle it, but GBA probably will, says Paulo Joffoli.
The Game Boy Color just can't handle 3D. Other games have attempted this, but they look well below the standards of graphics Rare is famous for. The Game Boy Advance is much more powerful, and hopefully we will be able to use some kind of 3D on this machine.
Get a little closer to your mic, by the way, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
While I talk about, this is around the time, you know, with this coming out in 2000, we're right up against the nose of the Game Boy Advance coming out, which Rare does go on to support in some form and fashion. I don't think they ever push anything 3D. If I'm trying to recall their catalog of Game Boy Advance games off the top of my head, I'm sure they use like digitized sprites that do like a pseudo 3D, you know, like pre-rendered stuff, the likes of a Donkey Kong Country, which again, that Donkey Kong Country conversion for the Game Boy Color uses much those same digitized sprites, but obviously Game Boy crunchified. But we move along. Question 13. Will there be computer players in the multiplayer in Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color? Says Lokno1 at AOL.com.
No. The Game Boy CPU is just not powerful enough to generate lifelike opponents. AI is very processor intensive.
That is true. And it is sadly, yes, there is multiplayer in this Perfect Dark Game Boy Color game. We'll play that, I think, in the second episode. We'll get that up and running. We're going to get through this history section and focus mostly on single player for tonight. But this one's going to go 2 parts because this is, again, an extensive game, a jam-packed game for the Game Boy Color. We're also going to take a look, as we continue to read some more questions, at the cartridge, which we'll get into more about the cartridge in time, but you can tell it's a funky-looking one with a battery inside and everything. And to that point, a question 14, as a matter of fact. What pack size does Donkey Kong Country run on? 16 megabits? 32? Hopefully not 8, says KM64Pro at AOL.com.
The cartridge size is 32 meg, the same as Perfect Dark and Mickey Racing.
So there you go, 32 megabit cartridge, which is, probably the biggest cartridge capacity possible for the Game Boy Color, certainly the biggest ever leverage.
Oh yeah, there was a time where that was not even Nintendo 64 cards weren't that big. Point in time.
Question 17. How difficult is it to retain the same feel for games that were made for the N64 when bringing the franchise to the Game Boy Color? What limitations in Game Boy Color's hardware were most difficult to overcome in bringing a game like Perfect Dark to the Game Boy Color? Says AA Birdo at connect.ab.ca. And I will keep bringing these email addresses out loud because they're there on the web. I mean, what? Don't contact these people. Assuming any of these email addresses even work. AOL.com email addresses. Anyone still rocking that? Anyway, answer.
It's not that hard to retain the feel of a Nintendo 64 title, but it is impossible to copy a Nintendo 64 game. The biggest limitations in the Game Boy hardware are a slow CPU, limited colors, poor sound, and no 3D abilities. But using our imagination and skill, we try to recreate the Nintendo 64 game as best as we can on a small screen.
Question number 24. How will the Game Boy Color version of Perfect Dark affect the N64 version? Since the face mapping feature was so rudely ripped from our nurturing bosoms, I feel it only fair you inform us on this teeny bit of data on one of our soon-to-be favorite and beloved games, says Tunnel Vision 456. You got a little brown on your nose there, buddy.
Yeah, did the producers ask you to punch that up before you send that in? Connecting the Game Boy version of Perfect Dark to the Nintendo 64 version provides an alternative method for unlocking 4 of the most difficult or desirable cheat codes.
This is what the transfer pack functionality ultimately amounts to. Is just you plug it in, you unlock a couple cheat codes, 4 of them actually, including the all guns code, which is definitely the most desirable. And there's a lot of guns in Perfect Dark, so playing through the campaign with access to all of them is a treat. Question number 28. Compared to the N64, the Game Boy isn't that powerful. Oh, you don't say. Do you find it hard to push our pocket-sized PAL to its full potential to live up to people's expectations? Asks Hubert Buckley.
Yes, it is very hard to push the Game Boy, but we keep trying. Perfect Dark was the first rare Game Boy game to use sampled sound. Mickey Racing utilized infrared link and printer. Perfect Dark has the most advanced 2-player link game yet seen on any Game Boy game. Donkey Kong Country proves the Game Boy can come as close to second graphically to the Super Nintendo. We will keep pushing the Game Boy... Oh, yeah, I see what happened there. We will keep pushing the Game Boy Color in every new game we produce. Yeah, I assume that's what they mean there.
They abbreviated as CGB for Color Game Boy, which confuses things a little bit. But
yeah, it's like how Nintendo abbreviates GameCube.
GCN. And finally, last question we'll read from this particular interview, question 29. How do you expect to get a good multiplayer experience in Perfect Dark Pocket with only 2 players? And will this sort of view lend itself very well to a deathmatch situation? I mean, wouldn't both players just stand in one spot and shoot until one dies? Asks Tycho Quad.
This is true, but we have overcome this by adding loads of different play modes with objectives such as counterforce when one player is a terrorist who has taken hostages and the other player is a counter-terrorist whose mission is to retrieve them.
Very good. So yeah, this is just a little bit of insight you can get if you were following them online. You could get these sort of
Yeah.
development insights more than a lot of other developers at the time would have been given away as they work on their games. I mean, most developers
Yeah,
just
that
didn't have websites at the time, and certainly nowadays people don't give away anything as they're working on games. It's due to NDAs and whatnot. But that's a whole other
mhm.
story. But
Yeah, that's fascinating to see how granular they even get with some of that stuff, like cartridge size and the technical aspects.
no, I think
Cool
it's a
though.
situation where Rare definitely didn't take for granted that their fans were very savvy. I think there's a lot of questions in that interview also about just like their classics catalog, like all their specky games and whatnot from the Ultimate Play the Game days that weren't necessarily relevant to what we wanted to get into here, but like people who had been following them since the 80s and are like, when are you gonna put Jetpack on the Game Boy Color? And it's just like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, we'll see if we can. So again, Rare fans ultra devoted to the brand at this time, and Rare did their best to leverage that fandom, that support, and to pay it off as best they could. Uh, and so, as it comes to the subject of Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color, we mentioned its 32 megabit cartridge. We mentioned the transfer pack support. There was also support for the IR sensor, which existed on the Game Boy Color, where you could IR beam stuff from one Game Boy Color to another. In this case, it would let you transfer some of your unlockables and save data to another person with another Game Boy Color and another copy of Perfect Dark for it. So you can maybe help them skip ahead in the game a little bit. There was Rumble built in, as you can see in this cartridge. That battery was to support a Rumble feature, where at certain actions in the game would trigger a rumble in the cartridge that you would feel in your hands as you played the game. And as if that weren't enough, as if Rare wanted to make sure they checked off compatibility with every single Game Boy Color peripheral and feature and functionality that they could, there was also Game Boy printer support. Because, of course, remember the Game Boy printer, this fucking thing. So there are just images you unlock in the course of the game that you can choose to print out on your Game Boy printer if you have one. I had one. I printed stuff out on my Game Boy printer, especially stills from Link's Awakening DX, especially that still of Link shoplifting. I remember printing that out on a Game Boy printer. Uh, you can actually see every one of the printable images from Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color in this image UR gallery.
Wow, she's beautiful.
User MAFNXXX was kind enough to assemble this image UR gallery, showing all the various face prints you can print out. So this again is just part of Rare's philosophy of, hey, if there's a functionality or thing we can do, if we can leverage anything that that the Nintendo's putting out there for us, we will leverage anything and everything, which is also a big reason why Nintendo fucking loved Rare so much, because they were one of the few developers who would be like, yeah, that esoteric feature that you used once for one game, Nintendo, yeah, we'll use that too to give people a value proposition for it. We'll make people believe that these stupid ass peripherals of yours, like the Game Boy printer, are worth buying, and so on and so forth. And it is novel, it is neat. It is if you were someone who ended up buying a Game Boy printer and wondering why the fuck did I buy this thing? Here you go. Here's a printout of Joanna Dark that you can peel the back off of and paste to something. You can put it on your school notebook on your binder and show people what a fucking nerd you are and have them ask, who the fuck is that? And you're like, Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark. They're like, no, it's not. Her hair looks all wrong. It doesn't look anything like her. You're a fool, random kid from school. Yeah, Joanna Dark's model on this game, on her in-game sprites, we'll get to it when we get to the game itself. This is mostly what it looks like. It's a strange look for Joanna. But we digress. We move along to Perfect Dark coming out for the Game Boy Color, where there is precious little in the way of sales data for the Game Boy Color release. You have to imagine it did fine. There's one problem for Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color. I mean, there's a few problems, but the biggest problem is that around the time that Perfect Dark releases for the Game Boy Color, there's another tactical espionage game for the Game Boy Color. It's called Metal Gear Solid in North America, Metal Gear Ghost Babel in Japan and elsewhere, and it is great. It is Sleeper, one of the better Metal Gear games, certainly the best to do the throwback style, the classic style of Metal Gear. Yeah, that's tough competition for Perfect Dark, which is effectively doing the same perspective, the top-down action stealth thing. And so seeing how those two games compare and knowing that every reviewer compares Perfect Dark on Game Boy Color to Metal Gear Ghost Babel, calling it Metal Gear Solid because that's what they called North America, on Game Boy Color, and usually Perfect Dark coming out on the worser end of that point of comparison does not do Perfect Dark favors, I imagine. We have a few reviews here. We're going to start high. We got a one that's sort of in the middle, then we got a low review. We'll start with Computer and Video Games Magazine, issue 226, published September 2000. This is a 5 out of 5 star scoring review by one Lee Skittrell, pictured here in this slide we have here. And I would like you to read this review, which is subtitled Small but Perfectly Formed.
Now you can have Joanna Dark anytime and any place you want. And along with her, yeah, I know. Rare has squeezed so much onto the Diddy cartridge, you won't believe it. There are training missions, link-up deathmatch, infrared info swapping, minigames, and the clearest speech to ever grace your handheld. It's the most complete, jam-packed Game Boy Color game ever, so surely it's worth 5 stars, right? Right, but only just. The problem with Perfect Dark is that, though the single-player game is massive and involving, it has some serious problems. Shootouts are haphazard, and it's often impossible to avoid taking the bullet. Enemy AI is so ace, and the game's tough, but the difficulty level can get too high at times, making for frustrating mission restarts, and a ridiculously complicated Simon Says door unlocking system reeks. Perfect Dark is unquestionably excellent. The wealth of extras and the quality and the amount of deathmatch modes will blow you away. This is overall quality that makes the single player flaws stand out. 5 stars, but not quite perfect. It's a weird rating based on that review, I'll say.
Not quite perfect. Small, but perfectly formed. A lot of contradictions here. It's also a strange review because, like, that entire middle section, you know, one of the 3 paragraphs is complaining about the game being not very good. But they're just like, but it has so much stuff in it. It has so much content in it. It's so technically impressive. We have to give it 5 stars.
And yeah, I see what Magic Mouse says. I don't think 5 for 5 is perfect. And yeah, I feel like that's a poison word in media criticism in general. But the review going, it has all these features, so it's a 5 is like, that's not how it works. Come on, guys.
It's also, you know, unfortunate.
Video games.
The game is called Perfect Dark, so of course the word perfect is going to be floating around in the dictionary for it, is going to be like pop up multiple times, so unavoidable. For a second take, we have a IGN review. This is a 7 out of 10 penned by Craig Harris, and I will read some snippets from it. The team obviously built the Game Boy Color game around an already awesome game released earlier this year, Metal Gear Solid. Perfect Dark borrows heavily from Konami's design, offering a similar overhead perspective and stealth gameplay used in Solid Snake's Game Boy Color adventure for Perfect Dark's main game, slightly modifying the design so as not to blatantly steal the whole idea. This is interjection. No.
Yeah.
They were developing this in parallel. They were developing this before Metal Gear Solid was, you know, I mean, they obviously Perfect Dark on the N64 was inspired by, they openly talk about how Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 made them, like, you know, want to make like a spy game again. It was just like, wow, look at all the shit they're doing, look at all the intrigue in this. But as far as like copying the homework of Metal Gear Ghost Babel for the Game Boy Color, no, they wouldn't have been aware of it during most of the development. I will hazard to guess. Returning. Joanna is your character, and you must guide her in the jungle, city streets, and building catwalks to nail the bad guys with 4 types of weaponry. Most missions are of the same design, where you'll plant bombs and or rescue hostages, but it's all about shooting the guards and taking their equipment, like guns, ammo, and health, so you can advance further into enemy territory. I definitely have to give Rare credit. The game wasn't just thrown together to make a quick buck. Just looking at all the features in the game, from the game options and extras all the way down to the clean digitized voices and sound effects, it's obvious that an A development team was put on Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color, but I can't ignore the little gameplay and control nuances that detract from the overall fun of playing Perfect Dark, despite having a lot of variety to the entire game design. Still, there is a lot to the game, and thanks to the battery save after every level, you can take a break and play Perfect Dark in small, enjoyable doses. Yeah, battery save is very handy. So many Game Boy Color games would just do password saves and drive me up the fucking wall as a kid. But, as long as they were sparing no expense in designing this cartridge, yeah, I should have mentioned battery saves as a feature as well when I was going over just how it was the most packed Game Boy Color cartridge of all time. But we'll move on to the last review I have here, one of the lower reviews. This is a 5.3 out of 10 scoring review from GameSpot, written by Frank Provo, who gets a little more critical of Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color. For each of the 5 missions you must face, from a rebel supply base and crash site to the main dataDyne facility and beyond, the game just gets longer, more tedious, and more cookie cutter as time goes on. Unlike Metal Gear Solid, they do mean the Game Boy Color version here, Ghost Babel, Perfect Dark assaults the player with mostly linear levels and a distinct lack of strategy. Sure, in theory, you should be sneaking up on enemies, defusing bombs, and saving hostages. In practice, however, enemies turn around and attack even when you're sneaking up on them, and defusing bombs requires no effort, so the suggestion of strategy is moot. When you factor in an insane difficulty level and the way the game simply drags on, it's hard to amass any desire to complete the game. The sad part is, if you actually manage such a feat, you'll likely have to play the game over again to finish collecting all of the secrets and extras. If Rare and Nintendo intend to establish a backstory for Joanna and offer a tribute to her N64 exploits, then Perfect Dark Game Boy Color does its N64 counterpart justice, albeit haphazardly. The blend of top-down first-person and vehicular viewpoints gives the game a decent sense of variety and fun, but the over-the-top difficulty and the pitiful level design greatly hinder what the game is trying to get across. Unless you're a die-hard Joanna Dark fanatic, that's me, or have a friend willing to partake of the game's much more engaging deathmatch mode, you'll probably not have the patience or wherewithal to see Perfect Dark through to completion. End review. So, some mixed takes there, all the way from a perfect score of 5 out of 5 to a 5.3 there. And there was even a few below. I think the lowest I saw was a 40% scoring review, but I couldn't get the attribution on that squared away in time. But yeah, this is all to say that even the people who seem to love the game were willing to give it 5 out of 5, and the gameplay isn't good, which is curious. You would think that would be like an important factor in that. And it is to say that, Rare, for being technical wizards that they were, as I said earlier, as we mentioned earlier, sometimes the games, as interesting as they might be, could be a bit uneven. In the pursuit of pushing technology, they forgot the part where they need to make an actually fun game. So many a case, but in particular the case with this Perfect Dark on Game Boy Color, by my estimation, by measure of reviewers, and hopefully to be proved as we launch into the game now. We will be playing Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color in just a second, just as soon as I get it up and running. Mm-hmm. As mentioned, we'll start with the campaign. We'll primarily focus in on that in the course of today's episode. This is a little much. This right out the gate, a little much. It could have just shown up on screen. It's dark. It's very dark. She's perfect. Perfect dark. To go from those fucking title screens, those title cards, to this main menu, to this title screen, this is so fucking low rent compared to those intros.
Yeah.
Maybe use the animation for this, because this render of an alien looks bad.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. The eyes look good, though.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. We can select our region here.
Oh, that's cute.
I'll go for English. I do have some progress on this already.
Oh, multiple save slots
yes.
even.
I'm going to erase my game, though, just to avoid confusion. I've been erased!
Yeah.
Multiplayer extras? Yeah, the little set pieces you do in the game. as mentioned, unlock as mini games that you can repeat, revisit, so on and so forth. So we'll be seeing those in the campaign. Recon photos, these are where you would get dark facial.
Oh, God. Oh, Rare, you cheeky buggers.
Oy vey. Rumble, I'll go ahead and turn that off because I don't think my emulator supports it. So I might as well spare that. Secrets unlocked, they have a handy-dandy checklist here. You can see how much you've unlocked. I've only unlocked 1 of 4 multiplayer modes. I'll have to remedy that by next time. And with that, we can start a new agent file. I'll use slot 1. Alright, how many characters do we get here?
I appreciate an actual QWERTY keyboard.
That's it. I think I see why I went with Cass.
Joanna, after your many years of study and training, this is the final test. Beyond this door is the Carrington Institute training ground. It simulates urban combat conditions. Using non-lethal ammunition, you must complete the tasks ahead of you. Success will reward you with the license you so desire. Failure is not an option.
Sampled speech. They hyped it up. It's there. Thank God there's subtitles for it because it's hard to listen to.
Yeah. I see people chat saying, yeah, it's clearer than I was expecting. It is, yeah. I don't know if it was worth it, though. I mean, impressed reviewers at the time, so I guess it was.
And look at the text having to catch up to it. I'm not advancing it. This is how it automatically advances.
Oh, okay, can you advance it, though?
Yes, I can. But I wanted to see
okay.
how long it would take. Then I want to see if it automatically cuts to Joanna here, who, by the way, that is supposed to be Joanna Dark.
I understand.
In the bottom right corner, that's supposed to be Daniel Carrington in the top left. They do have the voice actors from the original game contributing here. And we're in. This is what the game looks like. We have D-pad A and B. We have select, which does nothing at this current juncture. Start to access our menu, which has a plethora of options. We even have this little sub-menu where you can see our objectives at any moment in time. Restart your mission, turn Rumble on or off, or quit out of this game. Dense. If you double tap a direction on the D-pad, we will sprint in that direction, even diagonally, which is a little tricky to pull off, but
It's nice to have it. And yeah, they're doing this like, I imagine this was a 3D model they rotoscoped.
so the
Joanna.
watches. Yep, thank you.
You can obtain items such as health, ammo, and weapons from the guards. Lying on the floor. Stand over him and press select.
Ay. We had to go with a watch for that. We couldn't come up with some other gadget that's utilizes more screen space, so it allows for more lines of text on screen at a moment in time.
Yeah. I mean,
check this out.
Oh, hello.
Body looting.
Yeah, it like you would have had to have made sprites for it, but I would have done like a free frame animation, like zooming into the screen just to show it's a watch, but then have the whole screen real estate. Reload.
So we've already switched modalities.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing some first-person shooting here, much better than the shooting we just did, which was not very good, I must say, in that combat encounter. Good enough is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everything fully voice acted. Those watch interludes and objectives and stuff are spared the treatment. Oh, I need to reload. You could hear me dry firing, but I needed to press B to reload there. So I took a little more damage than I probably should have. Oh, I gotta remember to loot the other guy too.
Yeah.
Before I forget.
Okay, Yeah, I think I just used the health item you picked up. I don't know if you can store them or not.
Yeah, it should just automatically. Shitty security system. I gotta say, if
Yeah.
it's just Simon Says and it's just 3 buttons, it's... Wasn't even using a tool. That's just how that security system works.
Yeah.
They're just testing your ability to memorize 3 things in a row. So yeah, this training goes on, and on, and on,
Yeah.
and on, and
This
is
is a
unskippable.
toilet in this. It's a weird place for a toilet in a room, but fair enough.
Joanna, you must learn how to use toilet paper, the 3 seashell technique.
There's
It is
even
the
a
future,
chair so
after
your
all.
mate. Yeah, and there's a chair so your mate can wait while you're doing a number poo.
You know what year Perfect Dark takes place in on N64? What future year it
I
takes
don't
place in?
remember.
It's a hilarious one.
Ah,
2023.
of course. I knew it was close around then. I was going to guess the 2030s.
Who'd have thunk we'd all have flying cars, and we
Yeah.
do. Mink.
Fink. Oh, Mink? Fink? I noticed, by the way, earlier, I don't know how you did it. I think you, like, turned your torso without moving. I don't know how you did it. You were, like, standing still, and I saw the torso. Unless that's, like, an idle animation she does.
It might be an idle animation. Yeah, this.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, like, how would that control on a system with 2 face buttons and a D-pad?
Like the rest of this game, not well.
Yeah.
So this is a hell of an action-packed opening. I believe that any tutorial thing like this, you know, as necessary as it may be to acclimate players, this should be skippable.
Yeah,
Not that we would skip it for the purposes of this playthrough. I mean, this is like 1/6 of the game. Is this tutorial? Is this training? So, gotta use every piece of it. I think this is where we... Nope, not where we initially came from. Stealth kill.
Oh, nice.
1 shot.
Nice.
You'll get lucky sometimes like that. Great! 1/5 done. This combat is not good. It doesn't get any better than this, is the problem. So they mentioned the haphazard shooting. I think we're seeing it in action here.
Yeah, it seems at most functional from just watching it. It's like, yeah, you can move the character, you can press the shoot button, that's about it. Imagine you don't have a way of, like, locking your, you know, like, strafe lock kind of mechanics or anything like that.
No. Not at all.
Oh!
I can tactically
Okay, yeah,
reload
these-
early.
Those guys look like, soldiers. This guy just looks like he should be in, like, a... like a horror film where some, like, guy with a submachine gun is coming after you.
The Texas
It's a
Submachine
crow.
Gun Massacre. Jotaro mentions it's a very quiet game until you get to the shooting. Yeah, the volume's all over the place. We tried our best to level it. The speech is always going to come in lower. It's just a fact of how it works. Even though this is the thing you want to hear most. Good God. I'll take that clipazine if you don't mind. We are apparently using the Falcon 2, which is a cool-ass gun. Your default handgun, the PP7 equivalent of Perfect Dark. You can kit it out with a scope, a silencer.
Untie the hostage and set them free. Use your inventory page to check current. Objective details.
So we clean that signal up. We're losing reception at the end of these. He might have had more to say. So you can shoot the hostage.
Yeah, it would. Hey. Damn. 3 shots to the head and that's it. Yeah, you're out.
Hope that's not live ammo we're using during the training here. Let's not kill the hostage. Just wanted to show off that you could. T-rated game, by the way. Which is a rarity for the Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you're seeing this blood on screen.
Yeah.
You're seeing, oh, what did we pick up there?
Yeah. It's cool to see, but yeah, that feels like a very rare thing to let you screw yourself over like that.
The MG116G, not a gun from the console game. Not modeled after anything in particular from there. No secondary functions on these weapons either. We can't pistol whip with a pistol.
Thank you.
You just walk into them.
Yeah, picked him up. Yeah, it's funny. For where there's like a lot of attention to detail in some areas, in others there's less so. Like all those bespoke animations, and then just boop, pick the guy up and he's free.
You know what I can't help but notice? That is conspicuous by its absence is music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wonder if that's because of all the digitized sampling. It's like it's one or other in memory kind of thing. Like you can't have music and the voices going at the same time.
I'm a master hacker, Johnny. I don't know if you know this about me. I wear a gray hat. God, what an awful way to open your game. I'm sorry. This sucks.
Thank you.
At least we're getting through it. At least we're speeding through this training. It's just such a dull way. I get that you need to tutorialize players on all these functions, that you're doing a lot with a very little system here. And that just expecting players to figure out these buttons intuitively in gameplay.
It is something I would expect to be separate, just be on the lineage of, Rare and, because there is the lineage between GoldenEye and this. Especially Perfect Dark N64, where it is optional. It's if you're on the main menu and then you go and explore the
Carrington Institute.
Yeah. And then you could do like target range stuff there if you want.
Evan's doing something so cool down here.
Last Hats in chat says, maybe it's just me, but with the dev's name, I can't tell if we are saying that something is rare, like a rare occurrence, or a rare thing, like a dev team quirk.
We're generally trying to use the word rare to refer to the developer. We're trying not to. I'm trying not to use the word rare to describe, like, a rare Pokemon or a rare candy or whatever. So, all right. We're on to building number 3. Let's see what the objective here is. I'm sure Daniel will call us in a minute. Stealth training. Complete target ranges, avoid guards, reach exits. Oh, I'm dreading this. Let's see how the Game Boy Color handles stealth.
Running makes noise. Walk to sneak past guards. Realize the walk to sneak. Up to guards and eliminate them with a single shot from your pistol.
No melee.
How do you walk?
By just using the D-pad.
Oh, okay, so there was a run button.
No, if you double tap the D-pad, you will run.
Right, yeah.
So when he turned around, he actually did turn and face. I thought he would just snap to the bottom of the screen there. I thought he would just go from looking up to looking down, but apparently he did have a radius of some sort. Which is a problem with the stealth in this game. Luckily, I can get behind him. I mean, I guess I have to assume that our Falcon 2 here is silenced. Wait, how did I fuck up? Green, red, green, green, blue, green. Right.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Blue,
Yeah, that was it.
Green, green? No, it's
you
green
had it.
twice. Fuck.
Yeah.
Nope. That was me double tapping by accident. Well, we got there. What's important is that we got there. Again, master of hacking, Johnny.
Who's that? What villain is there? Is across the ways here?
Pump 'em full of lead.
It is funny thinking back to those questions on their website and people asking about 3D and rest, talking about the limits of the hardware, because this does feel like someone at the team going, how can we make something that gives the idea of being in 3D without actually rendering in 3D or using 3D gameplay? And so, like, both in that they've, rotoscope 3D models and doing these, like first-person perspective shooting parts.
GoldenEye 007 on N64, one of their biggest inspirations was Virtua Cop.
Virtua Cop, yeah.
Is them taking it back to that. Also, why does the gun we use in those sections only have 6 shots in it, like it's a revolver? But, the Falcon 2 has like a 7-round capacity. Never mind.
Does it have 7 rounds in this top-down part as well?
Fuck. Where does it start us over from? No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you have to be in a certain range for the stealth kill.
Yeehaw!
Is that how it works?
Possibly. He's totally going to see me when he turns around.
Judge Real redeemed to say something nice.
It looks impressive. Visually, they said it's oh god damn it. This is gonna be miserable. I wonder if I have to kill these guys, if I can just skip them completely.
What's that voice sample? Do you go meow?
My favorite death grunt from Perfect Dark 64 is the guy who says, I didn't like that guy anyway. So, what went wrong here?
Yeah,
what's going wrong here? That time I just decided to turn around without... It's supposed to be 1 shot to the back.
Is it
not this guy, I guess?
It's not distance-based?
Apparently not.
Because, I thought it was like you have to be near touching them kind of thing. And that's like them simulating accuracy, I guess.
It's just hideously inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what you want out of the stealth in your game, is that if your stealth is inconsistent, then don't do stealth! Got that guy, no problem. I wasn't behind him, I was just to the side of him. And that's good enough to work. But the guy we shot square in the back...
We'll have to measure it more, but I am starting to wonder if there's like, distance does play a aspect.
I'll get that one next time.
I love how pissed off the little girl with the bear looks. Just giving you the death stare.
Imagine if they just switched to this perspective every time you had to do shooting in the game.
Yeah, that would have been...
Too much, yeah.
Too much, yeah.
At the same time, I don't know, I might have preferred it because the
I think
top-down
if there was a
sucks.
bit more going on, like if they had simulated... It would have been hard if they had simulated taking cover in some fashion. to something that's more than just a literal chewing gallery. Some missions will require you to use a special item to achieve an objective. Use the laptop to defuse the bomb on this level.
Thanks, Daniel. So I guess that's a laptop we picked up and not a bomb. So now we have to go find the bomb. I'm at phone chat saying, may I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die? I don't have Rip Torn in me, otherwise I would. I'm counting my shots, by the way. So 5 shots so far with the Falcon 2. 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's even a little bar underneath the gun that shows you the magazine and how spent it is.
That's nice, at least. I do feel like they are taking up a lot of this UI with the health bar that doesn't need to be.
Yes! But you know what it is that they wanted to minimize the amount of screen they have to, dedicate to the gameplay.
Oh, sure. It's funny that they found a way to squeeze an ammo counter in.
I would just have a numerical ammo counter in that portion and again, shrink the health bar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey! I do like when they just shout, hey. You shoot them. Hey!
Good God. The sounds of war.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can't tactically reload, even though the B button isn't doing anything else. Even though I should be able to just, reload whenever I want. Alas, I can't.
Thank you.
Where's that bomb? I thought this was a bomb defusal mission.
JD, a bomb.
Seamless.
Oh, nice.
Fuck. That's fine. Again, I get that was a perfect shot. I don't know why that didn't register. I get the feeling that they wanted to do all the shooting like this, that they were prouder of this shooting, but they just could not find a way to smoothly transition. And so the top-down shooting is sort of like a necessity of the design, but not something anyone was particularly proud of. As well they shouldn't be, because it's bad.
Yeah. I think the way this is, though, you could have done this as the only combat, especially if it had been more frequent. I think it would have got great in really quickly, especially with like the kind of start and stop between it.
I do like the looting bodies. Looting bodies is a fun idea. It's barely used here.
Yeah.
It's just ammo and health. I don't think you're picking up like gadgets or like anything fun.
Yeah.
Like key cards or what have you. I could be wrong on that. Game might prove us wrong in time. I got the one shot there. I got the one deeg.
There we go.
Oh, that's it? No minigame for that one?
Honestly, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I am too. Now that I think about it for more than a second. Yeah, that's all right. I'll live. I will do without. Oh, I guess we've been that way before. Good that bodies stay. It is good that bodies stay to remind us of where we've been.
Yeah.
And where we've not.
That's cool to see, actually. The final test.
Time to put it all together now.
Use your initiative to search the training area to locate the hostages.
All right, so there's opening up the whole cityscape to us now. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, wait, I do. Mad. Because this is going to be nightmarish to navigate. I just have the feeling.
I like that ball on the wall, though.
How is that not a stealth kill? How is that? He was completely unawares. He didn't see me coming. There's precedent.
Next time, see if you can get really close to someone in stealth and shoot them.
That one because I was running. Because I was running
Yeah. Yep, I think that's what it is.
I'm telling you that it's inconsistent. I'm telling you that there are times we've been that close undetected and it just hasn't worked.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Put all the hostages in one spot. A brilliant
The thing is,
strategy.
I could see them doing that because I could see in theory. Oh. Now that's a stealth tactic right there.
Huh.
There we go. But, you know, I could see someone saying, okay, if every shot on an enemy that doesn't know where you are is a one-hit kill, then it would trivialize things.
Trivialize it.
Oh yeah, I'm not defending the decision. I'm just saying. I
know.
why
I'm just saying
would
to Rare.
I'm
saying to the Rare developer who had that thought, fucking trivialize it, because the part where you actually have to engage with it fucking sucks. Switching back to the M16. Hostages, where art thou?
What does your intuition tell you?
That this open door might have one, or two, or five. And you know, at least they're keeping us in health by killing these random goons.
Hey, look at that. And yeah, I've not seen much of Ghost Babel, but I can definitely get why reviewers would have compared this to Ghost Babel.
Again, I know I said it earlier, but Metal Gear Ghost Babel on Game Boy Color is fucking incredible. Is just great. Even the storytelling in it is really good. Even if you have to read it like 2 lines at a time in Game Boy Color fashion. It's worth it.
From me to you.
As is gift subscriptions to the Bad Game Hall of Fame Twitch channel are worth it, I believe. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blahats. Also, a quick comment from Round Spacebug in chat and asking if this is a prequel. Yes. I don't think it's, you know, decades in the past. Maybe a couple of years. It's supposed to be early days Joanna Dark. Never mind Perfect Dark Zero. That was also early days Joanna Dark. Also opens with a training mission, now that I think about it. Though they do a better job of like the simulated combat scenario premise of that.
That door's closed. This one's open. Please be close to done.
You know, it's very early on. If they couldn't have done music at the same time, I don't think they should have done these digitized voices for the most of the gameplay. I don't think that, you know, just have the silence and yeah.
Well, we passed.
Hey! Oh, now what? You just live here?
That's a good fucking question. I guess I can consult the objectives. Reach exit. Where's the fucking exit?
Yeah. Because, yeah, like, I think for some portable games, if you're going for a certain atmosphere, just in-game sound effects can work. I don't know if this is the right game for that, though.
I'll say that, just another complaint that's coming to mind, how big these sprites are, which is, you know, on the one hand, impressive, right, to have these detailed possibly even rotoscoped caricature sprites. On the other hand, it means that there's so little screen real estate.
Your skills have grown. I'm proud of what you've accomplished. Now it's time to give you a real mission. You will be dropped into a South American jungle. The exact location must remain classified. A cyborg manufacturing plant is hidden near the drop zone. Destroy it.
How should I deal with any opposition?
With your guns, would be my...
You must proceed with caution. The factory will be heavily defended, and any forces you come across will be well armed. Intel data indicates there is an attack helicopter that performs routine patrol flights. Use force when necessary, Joanna, but be careful not to compromise the mission.
I won't let you down, sir.
Hey, we graduated.
Hey!
A++.
Hell yeah.
Oh, 2022, so a year prior to the events of the N64 game.
There we go. Hey, confirmed it. Yeah. Like, speaking of the enemy sprites, I imagine they went for a certain size that they thought would clearly indicate their looking direction. So I wonder if they could have, you know, clearly shown that at a smaller size. Oh,
these are
title.
our characters. These are like
Yeah.
our pre-credits.
Yeah. But yeah, considering how good that sprite there looks. Max Danger.
Where's that guy in the N64 game?
Well, maybe he won't be making it all the way.
Mink Hunter.
Mink. Guess that was his tattoos. No, sorry, graffiti earlier we saw.
Cobra Commander. Sorry, Octopus Prime. I guess we're in.
Fair enough.
I guess that's the start. Well, I guess it's procure on site because all we got is our fucking Falcon 2 to start with. If we want an M16 again, maybe he'll drop one.
That's messed up. I think that guy was stunned. So surprised to see you. Couldn't even fight back.
I probably could have taken that guy out stealthily because I had the drop on him. I guess I'll walk slowly and carry a big gun. Oh, well, he was just looking. I couldn't have told. I couldn't have told what direction he was facing because he was off screen. Because again, the graphics are too zoomed in, so that also makes stealth like basically useless.
Yeah. So I agree when we were going over that review that yeah, the idea that this was trying to copy the Game Boy Color game Metal Gear Ghost Battle doesn't make any sense with their release dates, and especially like how long it takes to gold cert manufacture carts at the time. Like yeah, no, this game would have probably been completed before that game even released, knowing the way it lined up. But I do wonder. You mentioned Metal Gear Solid being an influence on the console game. So I wonder if that's more where the influence is of just, you know, that parallel thinking thing. Which in ways makes me kind of go, they probably should have copied Metal Gear Solid maybe more then. Or less, I guess. Because then that would be more like Perfect Dark. Obviously, Perfect Dark you can stealth a little bit in some levels, but
off the beaten
path.
It's
not the same kind of stealth gameplay, you know. And
there's
yeah,
a stealth kill.
The car lover says basically what I was thinking, and no radar doesn't help.
No. And we don't have a tool for that. We don't have like something here that we can use to, you know, scout ahead. Even like the binoculars of Metal Gear. If you're going to rip off Metal Gear, maybe just have a binoculars item so you can look ahead if you so choose to. Just thinking out loud here. This is also just like exceedingly basic. I mean, they're trying to dress this up in such a way to make it seem like there's more going on here between the looting, this SMG we're picking up. So the 6YYYYY. stupid name. And same sprite as the is just the pistol here. They didn't draw a new set of graphics for Joanna for this. Does this use a different type of magazine? Machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume this uses the machine gun ammo. Okay. I've determined that you cannot stealth kill. Let's prove it. Let's just, you know, even
as close
closer.
as possible.
You finally made it, friends.
So this is as close as we can get.
I
Maybe
think
a
we're
little
too
close. Yep.
Yeah.
Hello,
Also-
Raiders. Thank you for the raid, Cable 2. We're just testing the limits of stealth in Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color. Yep, nope, that doesn't work. Only the pistol can possibly...
Yeah, I figured, based on that tutorial text, that it was pistol only.
Again,
for stealth.
just have a melee. Just have a pistol whip, or just have, like, you know, if your gun is full, if you have it, like, reloaded, the B button can do a melee attack, and do a pistol whip, can do something when you're, like, that up close and personal with folk.
Oil.
I'm just checking.
Just keep it there in our big tank. Not connected to anything, we just...
You know, in case we need
just
it.
leave it here. Yeah.
I'm just gonna check the objectives. Nope, not restart mission. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about destroying the oil tankers or anything like that, so that's nice. It's just scenery. Yeah, I don't want to be like, you know, the game reviewer of the 2000s comparing this just to Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Ghost Babel at all on the Game Boy Color, but oh my god, it's so much better. Just like, even in its opening, it is like, it eats this game's fucking lunch.
Oh, yeah. Even without the attempt to be direct, like, it invites direct comparisons. Like, they are going for similar overall ideas. I do at this point think that the dev team were probably thinking more Metal Gear Solid, like the main console game, than even Perfect Dark, the way this plays, honestly.
And again, the lack of music is killer.
Yeah.
They might make the argument that's for, you know, for stealth purposes, so you can hear enemy footsteps, even though they don't make any sounds.
Yeah,
Or
so
something.
it's not for that. Yeah, no, I think we only hear our footsteps when we run, and maybe theirs if they run. But at that point, you're in alert mode, essentially, so it's not like you need...
How is that not a stealth kill?
Rewind, try one more time closer. Like, there.
It really has to be that close.
Yeah, almost touching, I think, is how it works. So they're kind of simulating the idea of, like, having a melee, just with the gun.
At that point, if you're not going to have it so there's a dedicated melee button, have it so when you are in melee range, it just does a melee attack. It's so stupid that it fires a gun, because, you know, it feels like you'd be alerting everyone that it'd be counterintuitive to stealth to use the gun for a stealth takedown.
If the other solution I have, the cheaper one, is if there was just some flavor text that implicitly said, get up close, that means you can shoot, well, maybe with the T-Rain you couldn't say it.
Blow their brains out.
Shooting in the head, yeah. But I feel like that's what they're going for. It's like when you get that close, you're able to essentially put the
Joanna,
gun up against
take
them.
him out Bud Dwyer style. Splatter their fucking brains across the fucking wall. Now, we could go this way. Or we could go this way, possibly. Watch them both link up to the same area. Or more likely it's going to resolve in a dead end. Yep, because I can't walk under this tree. You know, God forbid I walk under or around this tree here.
That old thing. Yep. Chewbacca. I'm going to pretend that's an Aussie name. It probably isn't.
It's not.
It says, the character animations are great. Yeah, that seems to be the priority with this game. More than the gameplay. They do look really cool.
Okay, this is interesting. Can't pick up that SMG. So I'm out of
There's some
ammo
music
for the
there.
pistol.
Oh, but it regens.
Yeah, there's some other games that do this. I'm thinking of like there's a Game Boy Advance. X versus Sever on the Game Boy Advance. The good one, not the bad one. The pistol in there, if you run out of ammo, it'll give you like a bullet at a time past a certain point.
Ah, okay. I mean, they would have to because there's no melee option.
Okay, this
Why did we
pistol's gonna
get
be the death
music
of
when
us.
you were... Wait, was it music or was it the you can't pick this up noise?
It was the you can't pick this up noise, and I was pressing
Oh,
it rhythmically.
Oh, your health is... I
We're at the
assume very
flat
low based on
line,
that,
yeah.
Oh, and round space bug brings up a good point. If the giant sprites were considered to help visibility on the non-backlit... Oh, sorry, that scream startled me.
Where would it start us from, just out of curiosity? Oh, the very beginning? No, thank you. I don't want to waste my time or the viewer's time.
But yeah, I could see that. At the very least, they're definitely going for very bright,
Ooh.
you know, like levels.
There's no way to dodge bullets in this, necessarily. And you know what? I have to dump this mag so I have enough ammo to potentially take this guy out before he shoots me. Except I can't. Are we in an unwinnable situation because the... luck. Pure luck. This better be near the end of this goddamn... It looks like we're getting close to the end of something, possibly.
Yeah. I'm just double checking some control stuff.
Hold on. I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna go further back to when we had health, just because I like to have health.
Okay, so the B button. Hang on. I think I know how reloading works. Okay. So go into your items. You see your guns. Assign that to your B button. Your your magazines. Equip. Yeah. Now go in game and press B. Oh no, it just reloaded like that. Okay.
But did it burn through?
Oh, it might have. Oh wow.
Oh,
realistic magazine simulation. Wasn't expecting that in this game.
Yeah, neither was I, and that's an unpleasant surprise here.
Well, it
just
was
do
earlier.
it Resident Evil style. Just have it so that, you know, there's...
Yeah, a bit earlier. I don't know how you did it, but you had a magazine in that bottom slot there. I don't know how you did that.
No, that's just when you run out of ammo, it shows the iconography in there.
Ah, okay.
It shows the magazine to show it's time to reload.
Yeah, because it does say...
Like this.
In-game B uses your B hand, so I wonder if it's going... You can put other stuff in there. Yeah, I just wanted to double check and see if there is any way to reload, but if that's the only way... Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, now we're Operation Wolf.
There we go. This game's a Regu Bayou Billy.
Oh, reload. So I guess I can drain the ammo if I'm not picking up ammo pickups, so I can't just hold it down and expect Hey, you know what game sucks? Operation Wolf. Oh, great. I missed the ammo. Luckily, we have some grenades here. I can't shoot the grenade to pick up more grenades because I don't have the ammo. I can pick up the health just fine, though. There we go. Yeah, I just have to pay close attention to that pixel-tall bar underneath the gun to see how much ammo we have.
A lot of guys just walking into frame to get shot there.
I love the guys parachuting in. Seems horribly ineffective. And there we go.
Yippee!
Go around the perimeter.
Okay, yeah, so the manual says for reloading, you will find ammo lying on various levels and more often on the bodies of fallen soldiers. Your available ammo will appear on the inventory page in the upper right corner. You will not need to equip ammo when your clip runs out, and your clip will automatically appear in the lower left corner. If you do not have the correct ammo, go to the inventory page and arm yourself with a different weapon. And that's all it says.
Yeah, it's about what I expected.
So weird. So the fact you can even, like, throw away magazines to put in new ones is even mentioned in the manual, even though you can do it.
You learn by doing. You know what game had really good music in it? It's just,
Perfect Dark.
tangential. Perfect Dark for the N64.
Yeah, yeah.
Graham Norgate, Grant Kirkhope, et al. They were cooking. And another thing, during that interview, the Tepid Seat interview, they mentioned coming up with an 8-bit music tool for the Game Boy Color that they're using across all their games, which, presumably they use to compose the music for the menus in this and whatever else, but couldn't make music for the gameplay.
Oh, Louis PSC in chat says that their cat was loving the boat shooting section. Didn't take their eye off the screen for the whole sequence. There we go. Fine, we got one.
Don't have gaps that it looks like I can go around. Don't make me think there's more than one way through this level, that this is anything more than just completely linear A to B. Follow the prescribed path, kill all the enemies along the way. Don't make me think this is a real video game.
Yeah. And again, thinking back to that Tidbits bit, it's again interesting they were talking about carrying over the spirit. Because, this doesn't really feel much like that Perfect Dark console game.
No, not even remotely.
And I don't just mean because it's not a first-person shooter. I just mean, like, the item, weapon balance. Like, it is almost exclusively stealth. Like, you get into combat, but clearly it's not the best option to go in guns blazing if you can help it.
Also, where are the gadgets?
Yeah.
Where are the cool sci-fi guns, the likes of the laptop gun that I could toss as a sentry and have it, shoot people for me? Where's all the variety of different grenade launcher configurations? We have a shotgun now. That's great.
Yeah. I will say there is a decent amount of weapons in this game, looking at the manual.
There's 4.
Huh? I swear I've read more. Hang on.
Pistol, SMG, shotgun, and the M16.
I wonder if some are multiplayer only.
Good God, don't tell me I'm stuck here.
Yeah, there's a few more. So there's the Falcon.
That's the pistol.
The MG... Yeah, the MG1 machine gun.
That's the M16.
The shotgun. The KNF-27 machine gun. Which apparently takes 2 shots to kill instead of 3.
Ooh, be still my beating heart.
The Phantom machine gun that takes 4 shots to kill.
Great.
There's a Disruptor, which is an alien technology.
I need you to look up how to progress. Oh, wait, never mind. I found it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Hey, best shotgun we've used in a while on the show, which is tragic to say.
We've had
some
a lot,
bad games
a lot
recently,
of stinkers.
Some bad video game shotguns. Yeah, I brought the beat back.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the other side now of that gap.
Cool. To no avail.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think it's a spread weapon. At least it didn't look like it from the projectile he shot.
No, it looks to be slugs.
Yeah.
Can I go in here? No.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I wish the sprites were this size. Yeah!
Spy Hunter, eat your heart out.
Oh god, this is just Spy Hunter.
But bad. But worse, one might say. Because I don't think we get anything besides the machine gun facing forward. I missed my ammo pickup. Ooh. You know, thank God this is a minigame and not the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. You have no time to prepare for the ammo pickups coming in.
Do you have speed control? I should look in the manual.
Yeah.
I keep saying.
Like this.
Because they do explain it all. I've gone past it, I think.
Huh? I'll start that one from the top. Okay. So I think I crashed into a
down.
barricade there. And that immediately drained all my health.
Oh, I have a top secret from the manual. Top secret, driving off the road will slow you down. While running over mines will damage your vehicle.
How many
Super
agents had
top
to
secret
die to
info
relay that
there.
information to us,
Yeah.
Johnny? How many secret agents perished so we could learn that information and have success in our operation?
Yeah. Now, I will say, Spy Hunter, like, I don't think holds up that well anyway. So saying, like, oh, this is not a great version of it. It's like, this isn't that far removed from what Spy Hunter is anyway, so...
Huh.
Whoa. That was quick.
Yeah, I think I took it at too high a speed. I rear-ended some that didn't want... Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
I will say it is fun to knock them into the walls and have them immediately explode.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between this and Spy Hunter is that Spy Hunter has a wider variety of gadgets and weapons you can use, so you can, like, do oil slicks behind you and stuff, which would be good for the fact that half the enemies that are approaching us here are approaching from the rear.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see at least, a rear attack. Okay, let's split up. I keep thinking that image for the slugs is a pair of sandals.
You've heard of Coin Shop before, where they put coins inside the shotgun shells. What about cut up pieces of sandals? It turns out it's a deathlier combination than anyone could think possible. The car lover says parish to car rally looking funny. I mean, this does have a variety of gameplay modes, much like Parish to Car Rally Special on the NES Famicom.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to blend in. I was hoping to...
If only.
Joanna Dark, Master of Disguise. Blahats was the actual joke. Birkenstock gun. There we go. See, our viewers are often more clever than I am when it comes to this stuff. Oh.
Thank you.
We've got hostages in this one. I wonder if I'll have to rescue them all. I guess I should check my objectives to see if...
Yeah.
No, they're not on here. I guess we're getting our rank up, Metal Gear style.
Yeah. Does this have difficulty select?
No.
Ah, okay. Because, I was wondering if that was...
A perfect agent thing. You gotta rescue all the hostages on perfect agent, otherwise. Can we get around this way?
Mm-hmm. Emerald Sun Disc Art's asking, I've been in and out. I guess I haven't run into a cyborg yet. I'm wondering if there are any The manual does mention one of the characters, and if you saw the opening character, well, not even opening, but you know the character showcase we got. There's a character who could be a cyborg from the looks of them. Char-looking motherfucker we saw earlier.
Much to look forward to. I shot this guy through the wall, by the way, so that was cool. Please let me just use the shotgun forever.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm out of ammo for the shotgun. Fuck. Back to the 6 Y.
Hey, you got more shotgun ammo. Also, yeah, it's funny in that tidbit thing they mentioned, like, yeah, we didn't do bots because we couldn't simulate good, you know, like bot AI for deathmatch. The single player AI is not amazing either.
No.
Seeing them get alert and just instantly shoot their gun. So maybe that's realistic. Maybe these guys are just that fucking terrified. They're just like, what's that?
Dump a mag, quick. That'll scare him off. You got anything? No?
It's the silliest thing ever. And I imagine if you did it in real life, it would get you kicked out of many shooting ranges and other places. But I always loved the gag when people shoot a gun for the like a pistol for the first time, and then they shoot it, and then they end up like throwing it up in the air with the recoil. So it just goes. Whoop!
You're shooting a
It's
22.
like, yeah.
Whoa! It flew out of my hands.
Yeah.
You ever been shooting, Johnny? I ask, knowing that you're in the UK, so the answer is no.
I've done paintball, and I have a friend who did airsoft. You know, like the proper competitive stuff where you go to like the little versus places they have set up.
Oh, I'm out of ammo.
I would like to at least once. I just haven't looked into it.
I hate to say it, but I've been meaning to get to a range again. I've been meaning to shoot some fun revolvers. I want to shoot black powder. I want to see what it is to load a black powder revolver.
What about
Seems
like a full-on
tedious.
musket?
Oh yeah, that'd be fun too. I mean, why not, right? Like somehow it's easier to get. You can get hands on those. Those somehow aren't like scrutinized to the same extent that fully automatic weapons are. Believe it or not.
On Space Bugs,
Which is a good thing. To be clear, it's a good thing. Just to be clear, I'm not actually a gun nut, folks. I'm just.
Yeah.
Fully automatic weapons
On
are
Space
bad.
Bugs
People shouldn't have them.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hell yeah. I feel like I fought one of these in Metal Slug at some point. Actually, legit, there's a boss in one of the Metal Slug games that looks like a stylized take on this encounter straight up.
So, I can't move the crosshair left and right. It's just center screen. Left and right will move me across the screen. If I'm from cover, I can't shoot into the,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not wild gun style.
No.
It's weird, because I feel like you could have done that.
Oh, wait, no, holding B does let me.
Oh, weird. That's a weird way to do that.
I wonder if the idea is I shoot these first. Oh, yep, there's the weak point. This is clumsy.
It says the gun underneath the cockpit will regenerate. That's another top secret.
Well, I'll get a start on it anyway.
Oh, yeah. I think that means, take out the other stuff first, because otherwise splitting your shots is a bad idea, yeah.
Do I shoot the missiles next, or...
But people in chat also mention the Rambo 3 Sega game.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this.
Where's my fucking bow and arrow is my question. This machine gun ain't fucking cutting it.
It's funny that in this sequence you just have unlimited ammo. Whereas
Just imagine how
earlier, you had
shitty
to...
this would be. To trial and error it without, the benefit of infinite ammo. to figure out the stupid sequence they want us to shoot this in. I mean, this is the closest thing to like an actual like fight requiring strategy. Requiring some amount of tactics.
Yeah. And I see the thinking of doing all these little modes. Because the core gameplay does not have enough going for it to justify. I find it interesting, by the way, this entire proper first mission after the training hasn't had a single one of those like target shooting parts.
They're saving them. You have to earn that privilege. Alright, there we go. And now the cockpit.
It's just because, well, what do I do now?
First try.
Hey.
Good work. Dino Gem awarded.
That's a lot of guards.
That is, yeah. Oh no.
Hey, you want first-person shooting on the Game Boy Color? This is as good as we can do you for.
There we go. Hey, why'd you do that?
Up. Okay,
let's see
so
if I can
apparently
get
there
you
is
some
some sort of
tips.
stealth mechanic or something tied to this.
Okay.
Can't skip this, by the
Yeah.
way.
A to fire, B to reload after each shot. Top secret, you must shoot guards without the other guards noticing. Remember that the guards in the front can't see what's going on behind them.
So is that the clue to take care of them last?
Yeah. Like, take out the towers first.
You know what Game Boy Color game had some cool sniping in it? Bionic Commando Elite Forces. Just an overall banger game. Just a... I gotta know.
Yeah. Again, you can tell it's rare because they love going for those weird little details.
I swear to God, like there's drop off or something because some of these shots don't. How does that not a kill? Does it have to be headshots?
Yeah.
Does it exclusively have to be headshots? Is that the only thing that works?
Is there any like sway they're trying to simulate? Because I don't. It's just the way it's moving. Oh, they are a little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
Yep. I think. Oh, I thought there was one more guy. No, you got them all. Good. Oh, never mind. Guess that guy's just running up on you. And
Like
yeah,
on
I
the-
do hope this does get more futuristic soon. Because yeah, if I've been 1 year earlier than Perfect Dark, it's
This feels like 20 years earlier.
yeah.
I think that might be Max Danger.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, he's going to be voiced by the same guy who voices Jonathan Dark in the N64 game. So why they couldn't just have Jonathan Dark in this game, who's to say? Who knows?
Agent Dark, I didn't think you would make it past the attack helicopter.
It didn't give me too much trouble. Who are you?
My name is Danger, Max Danger. I'm an undercover agent for the Carrington Institute. I have been sent to update you on the mission.
Very inconspicuous with his red hair, his fucking Sid Vicious look. He blends right in as a fucking undercover agent. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, Max. What have you got for me?
We've just discovered this facility is producing high-tech weaponry for terrorist operations. I've never seen anything so advanced. It uses a highly volatile liquid which is stored in containers throughout the factory. A C4 charge in each factory should cause a chain reaction and boom.
That simple, huh?
No. You have to ensure that the man behind this little operation, Mink Hunter, doesn't escape. You must deal with him before you blow this place up.
Why don't I just blow it up with him inside? Why don't I just... Okay. That's fine. I'm asking too many questions. Bye, Max Danger. I'm sure we'll see you again. Make sure all my guns are loaded. Do I have pistol ammo at this point again? I think I do. Let's just do it like that. Beautiful thing.
Wonder if that guy's still alerted or not.
Oh, definitely. Oh, wait. No, he forgot.
You were so sure. Immediately proved wrong. No, you forgot about it.
You know, it's very hard to do intelligent AI on the Game Boy Color, as it turns out. They can only have a short-term memory of roughly 5 seconds before. And that's just a hardware limitation. That's just hard and...
Ma. I don't know what that voice sample was supposed to be. Maybe the compression just ate it up too much.
Alright, I assume this is one of the things that we plant C4 on. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Okay, so where do I go on this thing? Where's the spot? Or is this something where I need to... No.
Is there any level...
Volatile liquid canister. Place C4 on canister. I mean, this looks like it'd be, but it might not be. It might be something else completely. So he was actually a level higher than us, that guy.
Yeah. Okay. I will say the manual does confirm you don't have to equip C4. It will just, much like the train level, just use like the laptop did.
Well, that's
when you're
good.
in an appropriate place. Yeah. Is this the fin?
Robot
Oh, there we
spider.
go. There's a future fin.
No comment on it. No insight into it. No. It's just environmental storytelling. We'll be facing these later, probably. Probably, right? I mean...
Yeah.
Robot spiders, they show up in Perfect Dark Zero a lot, don't they? From what I recall.
There's a lot of that game I don't remember. I remember the opening level and a street level where you go into a nightclub at some point. And a forest. And that's about it.
God,
I can't tell you what the story is in that game.
Imagine going clubbing and you meet Joanna Dark on the dance floor. What would you do? What's your opening?
Shit. Hey, do you, the lady?
You know what's perfect? I've got a golden eye for you. Fuck!
Yeah.
You know, it's like that one IGN stooge or whoever said... No, not the IGN. It was CVG. Let's not get twisted here. Who said, you can have Joanna Dark anywhere, anytime. Game reviews in the 2000s, folks.
Yeah. I would say, though, it's a very era design, but I don't mind the look that Joanna Dark has in Zero.
No, it's fine for a young Joanna Dark.
Yeah. But it does heavily date when that game was made.
Joanna, you cannot continue. You must have an unfinished objective.
Whatever that may be.
At least we know that where the exit is at this point. If only I knew what the liquid canister looked like.
Okay, can we confirm the objectives in case you do have to take out this guy first?
Clumsy menu. No, we gotta do this, and then we reach the exit, and then I presume that the
Alright.
last thing we'll do is take out Mink Danger, or whatever his name was.
Yeah. Mink underwear.
Okay, this is where we came from initially. So we went around here.
Yeah, I am bringing up a
All along the bottom.
long play just to see if it helps.
This is the room with the spider in. Even though this looks like some sort of liquid canister, possibly, it is not.
Okay, I know what it looks like when we see it. Now I just have to figure out where it is.
Let these sweet footstep sounds be our music.
Okay. At the very least, I can tell you go from an upper catwalk through a doorway to get to it by going left. So you... Oh, this might be it. Yeah, go left. Hey!
Oh, there we go. I guess I used that thing to, Simon Says unlock the door here to get us into this. Is what they were trying to convey.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have, like, a camera cutaway to the door we opened when we used the panel. That's like a stealth kill. That's like a stealth kill, right?
Yeah.
One shot. How much health do we have? 50%. I sure hope the health doesn't carry over into the boss fight. I hope that whatever the boss fight might be is some other bespoke minigame type thing that just gives us a full health bar. Not that way. Good God, it's so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like, criminal. Sin number 1. First and foremost.
Yeah.
The lack of music, definitely a massively contributing factor in this.
Yeah. See, much mouse music saying chat. I'll say for as much as the game is constantly shifting genres, it's not especially exciting. Yeah.
The problem is that the core gameplay, the thing they decided that most of the game would be, is the worst part of it.
Yeah.
This is by far the weakest part of the gameplay. The minigames, like, none of them are particularly great so far.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, yeah.
But I'd like, if this was just like an Operation Wolf-like for the Game Boy Color, like, they could have cooked a little bit with that, having the different weapons, switching between them, different ammo types. I don't know, there's something you could have done there, possibly. Or, like, switching between that and something like the helicopter fight, where you're, like, moving in and out of cover.
Yeah. Also, funny enough, from what I've looked up in the manual, that first person bit where you're shooting at the targets, I think that is the last we've seen of it. It's not, because it's only used specifically for shooting at cardboard cutouts.
Wow, that guy took a lot of shots to kill, and then gave me nothing for it. Wait. No, right. It's blue, then green. Okay. Sorry I have to cheat these folks, right? For whatever reason, my ability to memorize basic sequences, basic patterns is lacking tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna say again, referring to that Computer and Video Games UK review. I don't think the implementation of those Simon Says things reek, as they put it. Like maybe just doing it exactly Simon Says is more the issue there, but like mechanically it seems to work how you expect. I haven't seen sequences again ridiculously long. The colors are clear. They also use the audio indicator, so you have, which is what you want to do. You want both.
Yeah, I'm more using the sound than I am the visuals at this point. I'm just remembering the boop 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 boop.
There was a time where I did get like really good Virtual Simon Says.
Rocket
those,
launcher.
Like... There we go.
I feel like I don't want to waste that.
I like the C4 looks like a little robot.
It's the future! Ooh! Is that a rocket I just picked up?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like a bottle rocket.
Well, they didn't specify what kind
future.
of rocket launcher. Anything up here? I keep hoping to find, like, health pickups. They would just be very useful, I think. It's also why I'm killing every enemy on the off chance they drop something I actually want. And not just pistol mag number 72.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go.
Huh. Okay, so I don't have weapons here.
So you do press A apparently on these to fire them.
I am taking splash damage like no one's business.
Yep. Use a control pad to move, go to the industrial lasers on each side of the platform, then press A to fire them. Top secret! The lasers must have time to recharge between shots. The longer they are left to charge, the more powerful their shots will be.
Can I aim them in any given direction or just nope?
Nope.
I have to wait for this guy to get in the corner.
Yeah. Ah, you missed it, yep. Okay, the more I'm paying attention, it seems like there's like a very set sequence.
Oh my god,
no. How many fucking shots
times?
is this gonna take?
And the splash damage is crazy on these rockets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do see what they mean about like the charge time thing, but it seems inconsistent. Like sometimes I feel like the charge time has been the same length, but it does more damage.
Who's the guy who produced Wild Wild West? He'd like this sequence.
Yeah. Wicked wild. Wicked wild. I do like the little spin it does when you damage it. The head just goes, woo!
Nope, too close.
Chat, yeah.
We're too close to it. I'm just gonna...
Sonya Can Chat says it's John Peters.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Yeah. I forget what the other movie is, but there was some other movie he was trying to get a giant mechanical spider into before.
The Superman movie that Kevin Smith briefly wrote for.
I think it was a couple, actually. Like, movies. He kept pitching it.
Well, that's a boss fight down. I don't think that was Mink, whatever his name was, so I think we still have another boss fight left to do.
Yes. Yeah. Also, Round Spacebug in chat says that there's a Wild Wild West PC game. Which, what?
Wiki, what?
Yeah. I'll have a quick look at it, just to see.
Imagine if the game didn't have the mechanical spider in it. How sad John Peters would be.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no. PlayStation version was planned and cancelled. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that then, because I just straight up never knew that was a thing.
And there's no chance it's good, right? Just, you know,
Oh, it
0%
doesn't-
chance.
Reviews do not seem positive.
Unlike the movie, which was, you know, critically acclaimed, Oscar winner
Yeah.
in its time. Yeah.
Try to remember if that's the movie that Will Smith did instead of The Matrix. I think it was.
Made the right call. Nah, I can't even joke. Even with the cowpoke gimmick, no. Wild Wild West is one of the shittiest movies. Let's use the rocket launcher. I feel like living a little. Surprise, it's one-shot kill. But, oh, their body disappears.
Yeah.
So I can't even
I
loot
guess
them
you're-
afterwards.
Guess you're obliterating them there. That's an interesting payoff. Okay, quick hypothetical question. If Will Smith had starred in The Matrix, would he have made a music video to tie into the movie like he did with his other stuff?
Matrix, Matrix time! Machines just don't understand. Etc., etc., etc. Give me your other
Yeah.
Will Smith songs, and I will deliver unto you Weird Al quality parodies, one line at a time.
Trying to think like what actor nowadays could bring that gimmick back. Start a movie. Yeah, I'll just make a song about it.
Joanna, you cannot. Yeah, it's the same thing as last time. We have an objective we need to do. We found the exit too early, and what we must find instead is Slime in chat said Timothy Chalamet, which I was thinking Timothy Chalamet is a joke answer. I was thinking it, and I didn't pull the trigger on it, and I got beat to the joke.
This level just goes, huh?
Yeah.
Keeps going.
Yeah. Uh-huh. This game just goes. It just keeps going.
Yeah. I guess you could argue it's split up technically, so like between each mini game is a separate level. But definitely we are in this locale.
We're getting intimately familiar with this tile set.
Yeah.
What'd I fuck up?
It's 2 yellows then blue.
Hey. Can you read Jodareel's message?
Oh, sure, yep. Joe says, I was surprised when I saw the title of the stream said number 1, as in part 1. But I understand now.
Like, the sick thing about it is I want to see what other mini games they have up the sleeve. I want to see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
else they've put into this game. I'm also very curious about the multiplayer, which we will see in the second episode.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hopefully it only goes 2 episodes. Hopefully.
I'll say at least based on how far we are currently, there's a good chance I'd be surprised if we went free.
You know, the looting mechanic was fun at first, was novel. It's cute to see it on Game Boy Color. I would have just as readily accepted them dropping items that you pick up off of them, just walking into them replenishes your ammo or health or whatever, because it is just out of shotgun ammo.
Yeah, I was trying to think of earlier, could they have done it in a way where she just crouches and then it just shows you the item? But I
Yes,
wonder
they
if they've
could
run
have.
it- Well, my wonder is the amount of sprite layers they have to work with. Because the Game Boy Color did not have many. And if
Yeah,
they're
with
doing
all these
stuff like
foreground
this,
elements.
yeah,
Which, I would just as readily rid myself of the foreground elements.
yeah,
They
yeah.
never add anything. I am a foreground element hater. Like, what would have made this even more tedious, but would have, like, justified the screen? If you have to check, like, individual pockets and belts, right? If, like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
patting them down, and then,
Now
what you get is, like, contingent on how thorough you are.
yeah. There's like a mechanic that could have been in Perfect, nope, not Perfect Dark, but Alone in the Dark, 2008.
Ooh,
That's
yes.
That's very that game.
Hey, I got it in one for a change of pace.
Yeah. If not that, at least something that would have just shown, hey, you don't need to check this guy. Like something to make their death sprites make it obvious they have something. Oh yeah, just drop the items. It's it gets to a point where sometimes with design, it's it can seem a bit reductive, but it's I think of it because I think Steph Sterling has used it in older back when they were Inquisitions. They're called something else now. I forget what the shows are.
Yeah, I forgot the name
They
of the
used that
format.
clip of Reggie Fils-Aimé saying, "If it's not fun, why bother?" And it is like that is a good philosophy to think of when you're making a video game.
Or at least the traditional video game. There are games that not to get into like a whole discourse. I mean, what else
yeah,
are we
like I
fucking
said,
talking about? There are games that are allowed
it is
to not
like
be
I
fun.
said.
Yeah,
It is a bit reductive, but like if you're making a game like this, you have to, especially with the looting mechanic, it's like, okay, what does going to this screen add? Is it just showing off that you made this bespoke body sprite? Because there's other issues with it. It also limits the enemy variety. Because, you can't make a separate render for every enemy type. They've, like, recolored it. I think earlier on it was using that same image, but white.
Yes, I believe they just changed the palette up on that screen.
Hi, Steph. That's the name of their YouTube show now. There we go. It came back to me.
Miss Dark, I have been expecting you. If you think you can just waltz in here and destroy my little operation, you are very much mistaken.
Hey, who are you? What's your accent? And and what is your accent? And who are you?
Give it up, Hunter. This is the end of the line. I've placed explosives throughout your factory, and as soon as I've dealt with you, I'm going to blow this place apart.
You'll have to get past me first, girl.
Have it your own way.
Burger King.
At Burger King.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh my god, is he literally supposed to be like a bandito? Right, let me check the manual. Use the control panel to move. While moving, press the A button to throw a throwing star. If you miss, you must either catch the star or retrieve it from where it has embedded itself in the wall. Top secret, making your throwing star ricochet off the walls rather than trying to aim directly at Mink Hunter.
Yeah, you can't not do diagonals here.
Yeah.
You can only throw in diagonals.
So, how's this compare to Windjammers?
This is fucking awful.
Miss Dark.
Give it up, Hunter.
This is horrendous. This is fucking inane. couldn't just shoot across this? I couldn't just use my guns? Why do I have to engage this guy on his stupid terms?
Yeah. Well, this doesn't remind you of the Megaside 3 Ocelot fight?
No, I can't say that it does.
Chasm. The rush of fighting with throwing stars.
So say something nice.
Give it up, Hunter.
You couldn't have picked a worse moment, could you? Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, it is a different game mode, but I don't know if that's necessarily saying something nice if it seems as clunky as this. And so, I'll try to think of the exact word for it, but it's not justified. This came out of nowhere, you know? It's the most forced, like, well, how can we make this encounter different? Oh, we'll just do windjammers. But bad.
Move up! Just,
Yeah.
God, stop dodging. Stop dodging my attacks.
God,
I
think
don't
should play
appreciate it at all.
Play some windjammers at some point.
If he wasn't so actively dodging, it'd be better. It's the fact that he's actively avoiding damage.
Yeah, it looks like he just knows where your shots are going to go, so what are you going to do? Lahat says, Pom with extra steps. Oh, you should have checked out our Bad Game of the Month last
You know, I'm just gonna rewind.
last month in the Discord.
Give it up.
I accidentally
Someone
rewinded
made-
too much, so.
Someone made Pom with extra steps as an entire video game. And Matchbow says, has Windjammer been featured in a Fight Night? I think it qualifies. Yeah, it hasn't, but it does remind me that at some point, I feel like a fun gimmick would be a Fight Night with, let's just say non-traditional fighting games. You know, like they're competitive, you're maybe competing or fighting in a sense, but not like melee combat necessarily. Yeah, I figured the idea was the bounces means that the enemy would not be able to predict where you're throwing them. But half the time, he does. So, like that. Like, that one was just the AI turned off there. But sometimes he knows where your shots are going to go. Ma.
I have 1 health. He has 2. Fuck that.
I assume when they say embed in the wall, they mean like the wall behind you, right?
Yes.
Hey! Oh, and he fell into the drink. Oh! Are we dead?
Yeah, we forgot to leave.
Oh, no, she's good, folks.
Good God.
Gem awarded.
Mission successful, sir.
Very good. Anything to report?
Although there was heavy resistance, I was able to destroy the facility and eliminate the head of the forces. There was one odd thing. During the landing, I witnessed an aircraft being shot down. I made a note of the coordinates.
Good, good. You've done well, Joanna. We'll take a look at these coordinates and compare them with the satellite data for the area. I knew you would make a good agent. I'll expect a full report from my desk before you leave. We found nothing, Joanna.
No time passes between.
We got hold of an Air Force pilot's report of a UFO in the area at the time.
A UFO? More likely it's an experimental aircraft.
She got real British there.
Investigating. Go and snoop around the
There's no such thing as weather balloons. It's all flying saucers.
dataDyne activity in the area. We're getting a lot of strange reports.
Yes, sir.
A UFO?
2 days later.
There's clearly something here.
In case you couldn't get enough of those jungles from before. What if? More jungle! Oh, thank God we're inside. And our inventory is reset. So we're stuck with the handgun.
At least it is a bit of a different environment. Oh, hello.
He had it coming.
He did, though.
Joanna, the cleanup operation is well underway. dataDyne are moving the wreckage as we speak.
Max, hi. How do I access the crash site?
Two different conversations here.
You will need 2 key cards to get access to the crash site. But there's more. I've been in contact with the Institute, and Carrington has instructed me to update your mission objectives.
What are they?
You must steal a laptop computer and download the dataDyne files onto it. The files are stored on a mainframe in the west wing of the base. It is locked by an additional key card.
Is that all?
No. You'll need to switch the power matrix off before you can... The room containing the matrix is probably deep inside the base.
Okay. I'd better get moving.
Hey, Max, you're gonna help us? You're gonna accompany us on all that? Okay, fine. Fuck off, I guess.
Alright, I just need to take a very quick BRB for a business call. I'll only be like a minute, though.
Alright. In the meantime, I'll, start killing again. Ooh, this is a slightly new sprite. Okay, that must be one of the keycard doors, or otherwise just a fake door. Oh, this foreground is fucking egregious. Don't have me shooting underneath a glass ceiling. You're not allowed to do this. This is game design crime. Oh my god, and so much of the level is like that too. Tell me that's not a maze. Tell me they didn't hide a maze inside of this glass structure. At least we got a phantom. Spelled F-A-N-T-O-M. I think it's meant to be a FAMAS. It's some sort of bullpup. It's exactly the same as the M16. It's just superficially different so they can pretend there's variety here. Again, you know, the thing with Perfect Dark... Okay, so first I'll say the thing with GoldenEye, right, is that there's a lot of different assault rifles, SMGs, handguns. There's 2 shotguns, some knives, and some gadgets. And, you know, you would think that, you know, on some level, a submachine gun's a submachine gun, but they do have different firing speeds, they do different amounts of damage. You come to find favorites. There are ones that are optimal, but ones that you might just like because they look cool, or because they sound cool, or otherwise just cool. But, you know, it is sort of like the illusion of variety. In Perfect Dark, every weapon in the game has a secondary function that, in addition to its basic firing mode, a lot of the assault rifles will have, like, an underslung grenade launcher, or the ability to do, like, a lock-on from a distance, or, like, things that make them meaningfully different from each other in, like, very unique ways, so that any gun in the game can be determined as being viable, can be determined as being unique, having a use case. It's one of the brilliant things about Perfect Dark, and there's a lot. In this game, in this Perfect Dark on Game Boy Color, that's just not possible. There's no secondary fire modes on these. So an assault rifle is just an assault rifle. A submachine gun is just a submachine gun. A handgun is just a handgun. And that's a shame. What's even more of a shame is that I'm somehow getting lost in this.
I am back.
Got a new machine gun, new assault rifle, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
They call it machine gun ammo, which is
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
This I will say I don't remember because it has been a bit too long. GoldenEye has the thing where ammo is shared between guns of a similar type and things like that.
That is correct.
How much did Perfect Dark do that? I feel like it did it still a bit.
It did it still a bit, yes.
Yeah. I get the impression with this though is that it's always going to be 4 weapons per level, and then it'll just be, oh, here's the auto fire weapon.
Here's the shotgun, here's the special weapon, yeah. It's, superficially they can change, the sprite they use to stand in for the submachine gun, assault rifle, etc. But they all use machine gun ammo.
Yeah, according to the manual, they seem to do different damage amounts.
So I think that's the key card I just picked up, which means now I go back to the spot I was at. Or hopefully this will open the door. Not before this. No.
Of all the bespoke game modes to repeat, why this one?
Oh my god, does it have even more health?
Yeah, you haven't even done damage to it yet. There we go.
Half a tick. Whoever thought this was good enough to repeat through the game was wrong. It'd be one thing if, like, I could use my actual weapons, right? Like, in between firing these things, I could be, like, taking pot shots at it from here. And then these are just, like, super damage or, just a bonus.
And yeah, the fact there's no clear indication... Well, there's just none. There's no indication on how this charging damage works on these guns. So anything visually on it to show, like, oh, this is how much charge this one has. Not that you can really make any sort of choice doing that.
No, because it's all on the whim of the spider and where it decides to go at what point.
Yeah. So you might as well have just deleted that whole charge over, damage over time charge attack out of it.
Oh. One more ought to do it.
Yeah, while I was taking care of business, I was thinking about the way games were reviewed at the time. Oh, hang on.
You will need a key card to access this area. Okay.
But not category, but breaking games up into separate judging criteria and averaging it out and things like that. And I can see why a game like this would have reviewed more positively than its actual enjoyment factor.
Just in the aggregate, yeah.
Yeah, which actually makes me wonder how many games around this era would have been designed with that in mind. Of like,
we'll wow them with the graphics. We'll wow them with the sound. Yeah. Okay, maybe we won't wow them with the sound because we don't have any music, but we do have sampled speech, so maybe that'll make up for the lack of music in the levels.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, it's like, especially with that computer and video games review, that was like, oh, this is a 5 out of 5 hit, and it has a ton of issues. Makes me think, well, yeah, if there was a mandate up top about, well, you have to give it this amount of points based on how it looks and its sound, and if it has replay value, doesn't matter if it's not fun, does it have it, like that kind of stuff.
It's like they're playing fucking Moneyball.
Yeah.
They're just juking the stats to create the most
Yeah.
algorithmically fortunate game they can.
Yeah. But yeah, because it's not really talked about so much, but I would love to know how to, if I ever get in contact with developers from this time, like if they were, and because that's the thing, actually, you do hear that attitude every so often in the years since, where when a game comes out and then some like producer or like lead on the game will say like, well, you know, this game's at least is an 8 out of 10, just like objectively. It's like that's
like
not
Randy
how that
Pitchford
works.
saying that Aliens, Colonial Marines, it would be an 8 out of 10 if otherwise.
Yeah. And yeah, as much as he deserves mockery for that, he's not the only one. A bunch of people have said that in the years since, even. Where they'll say like, oh, minimum this has to be this score. It's just no, it doesn't work that way. A great thing to look up. I don't know the easiest way to find it, but Jeff Gerstmann talking about his Twilight Princess review years later at Giant Bomb, and talking about giving that an 8.5. Oh, you were in a key card.
It's an open door.
And
they forgot to put the locked door sprite in front of that, so it just looks like an open door.
Yeah. And being very open and saying like, yeah, it's only that high because of the stupid judging criteria the GameSpot used at the time. So for as much as the Zelda fan base still poop themselves over that review about how low it is, Jeff has openly said like, yeah, no, I would have scored it lower if I wasn't using their stupid objective review aggregate metric. But just again, fascinating look into that era of game reviewing.
I want to see where it respawns us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd have to do the sequence on the right again. And I'm only starting with half health, though, still. So remembered how much health I had when I first came to this section of the level. Oh, I hate this. This sucks.
Yeah. Well, if that's being saved to the battery, I guess that's why it's able to track that. But yeah, considering it's funny that they even mention like, oh yeah, you can play this in like bite-sized chunks. It's like, no, these levels are quite long. Like, yeah, it's great that it saves on the cart, but you can't just. The levels are nowhere near as snappy as Perfect Dark levels are. And granted, they're a bit longer. They're definitely longer than some GoldenEye ones.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're snappier than this.
It's hard to be any less snappy than this. I'll say that much. You know, I do have the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the shotgun.
Whoop.
That was a mistake I made, was not using the shotgun, relying on that shitty assault rifle.
I think I've been thinking about this as well, because some research I've been doing talks about a game that was going to get bonuses based on a Metacritic average, and how stupid that is, considering you have... I'd say in a perfect world you have no control over that. I know there are some standards that kind of dictate some of the scores there, but that's still...
Fuck that. I was too high. I needed to move down first before I shot. Even though I couldn't see myself because of the foreground element here, so I couldn't tell where I was shooting from initially, what angle I was hitting.
No, I guess in a sense it is true to Perfect Dark that they don't Actually, they probably give you more health pickups than actual Perfect Dark, but it's
there's
much
no health
easier to
pickups
take...
in Perfect Dark. There's armor pickups, shield pickups,
Yeah. But in terms of, managing that, it's taking damage in Perfect Dark you can avoid a lot easier than this.
Yes, in the real video game, it is actually, you can learn the routines. You can circle strafe, and that you'll dodge most shots, and so on and so forth. It's actually You know, a lot easier in that game to dodge bullets. Whereas in this, like, it's basically you have to line yourself up in such a way that the enemy has a clear shot on you, and then you trade bullets, unless you get the stealth thing, which is unreliable at best and broken at worst. Or unless you're using the shotgun, which is the only good gun in this game, because it's the only one that kills in one, besides the pistol from behind, which I don't fucking trust.
The Uzi-looking weapons seem like if you're in the right position, it stun-locked enemies. So that was, like, something. But not as reliable as the others, yeah. I do just like how powerful the shotgun is, though. Just
It fucking better
as it
be.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's like a difference between long and short and medium range in this game in terms of encounters.
Yeah.
Everything is close range because of how zoomed in the fucking screen is.
Yeah. But I do love people just go flying.
This is the electrical room. Did we have an objective here or something? Switch off power matrix. I think we might need the laptop first. Which means we've gone out of sequence. Which means I am a sad Cass right now.
I'll say it's interesting. The long play I'm watching via Rareware archives is actually playing this level very stealth. Like they are walking almost exclusively and then using the pistol and then shooting when they're like touching the enemy sprite.
Good for them.
Which does not it seems like a more boring way to play, so
Yes, I know, I need a fucking key card. Yes, I get it. This is hell. This is video game hell. No, it's limbo. It's fucking limbo in that it feels like I'm stuck here for an eternity.
yeah. Okay, well at least know what the room looks like that has the laptop. You know, I'll just have to hope for the best. Has anyone made maps for the levels?
Jodariel asks, so in terms of story, was the N64 game like this one, mostly from cutscenes before a mission? Cutscenes before and after a mission, sometimes cutscenes in the middle of a mission. You would like eavesdrop on conversations, like with your cam spy or whatever on occasion. Or they'd be like, you meet with a character who has like some information for you, rescue the president in the middle of a mission and convince him to leave Air Force One with you. It does a lot more. It also has briefings, like, same way that GoldenEye had the dossiers before a mission that you could read that, outline why you're doing the objectives that you're doing. It also had those. So it did a lot to get across, the story that it is trying to tell, which is one rife with conspiracies and government agencies all, like, betraying each other, playing against each other, factions within the government, so on and so forth. And then eventually, aliens. Oh, out of shotgun ammo. And like, at the end of the day, is the story that Perfect Dark 64 tells, like, the greatest story in a video game? No. It's a means to an end. It's a means of tying together the action movie sci-fi set pieces they meant to.
This is a present from me to you.
Tie together in that. Thank you, Mers Bun. Game is called Perfect Dark, yet I can see. Curious. Yeah, this would be better if it was just all pitch black. I think they could have done that. Would have improved things somewhat. I'm taking it that you did not find the map, by the way, Johnny.
So I found multiplayer maps, and I'm trying to see if they are the same as the single player, but I don't think they are.
Wait, so we do have the laptop already?
Oh,
laptop, computer, key card. Okay, so why couldn't I do anything in the electrical room?
think these maps might be the same.
I'm guessing that the key card I just picked up means I go back to wherever I need to go back to. Yes, here. And then to the left here.
Ah, here we go. Yeah, this is chapter 4. You know, raregamer.co.uk has a very good walkthrough with proper maps.
Great that someone cares about this wretched little game enough to do a walkthrough for it. I mean, good on anyone who writes walkthroughs for bad games, who attempts to spare others the pain. Oh, another key card, and is this this is the disruptor. So this is supposed to be the Mayan disruptor from the video game Perfect Dark. You may have heard of it. It's the alien handgun equivalent. I think there's actually a second alien pistol as well. There's a Skedar one, there's a Mayan one. I think the Mayan one is the one that has the explosive shells in and is infinitely more fun to use. The disruptor has a charge shot. None of this matters. In this game, it's going to function like a pistol. In this game, it's just going to be a pistol, you know? Maybe a pistol capable of shutting off the electricity in here? Oh. Ah, cute little effect they did there. I see what they did. Pseudo 3D. Very cute.
Yeah, I was trying to follow a bit, figure out where in the guide, but it's a bit... This area is like 2 maps put together, so it's a bit...
Oh, it's more than 2 maps put together. It's like 3 or 4 maps put together. And I do not appreciate it. Do I not have the key card you're looking for? Okay, I've shut off the electricity. We have the alien gun. Download crash data from mainframe. What does the mainframe look like?
Let me figure out.
I love walking around in circles. I love backtracking through the same level. This is heinous. This is...
Yeah.
I know we're not done with the game yet, but 1 out of 5? And it's what's so bad is that Perfect Dark on the N64 is so fucking good. One of the best!
Okay. Well, I am gonna do, in case it helps, is I'm gonna post some maps for you.
It's like they had their A team on the N64 game, and they said there is no like B team for the Game Boy Color team. It's just the Game Boy Color team that they are their A team for the Game Boy Color. You know, so it's just that team split between this and Donkey Kong Country. What does the mainframe look like? How is there no like radar to point you in the direction of like, hey?
Yeah, if you're gonna do a level like this, you need something.
So Johnny, I need you because I'm looking at the map and it means nothing to me because I don't have a key in front of me. So all the A, B, C, and D doesn't mean anything. So I need you to tell me where the mainframe computer is.
You're just gonna have to bear with me because I'm gonna have to read and see where stuff happens.
I feel like I've already done everything on this right-hand side. Unless one of these is the mainframe computer. No, does not appear to be, thank God. You know? Just to bring it up one more time, just to, rub salt in the wound. Metal Gear Ghost Babble on the same platform. May not be as visually impressive, even though it looks a million times better, even though, it may not have as advanced graphics, but it's a million times more charming and styled, especially the cutscenes, especially like, how they do the conversations between characters with the stylized anime art and whatnot. So yeah, it does look, it's a million times better in every possible regard, that Metal Gear Ghost Babel than this. It may not have the same tech driving it, but by God, does it look better. Better gameplay, better gunplay even, for as basic as the gunplay still is. It has functional stealth in it. It has gadgets, like a spy might have, like a Joanna Dark might have. Solid Snake gets him. Gets a fucking cardboard box. Cutting edge technology, that. It has a fucking radar, so you can see where things are.
Sorry, yeah, I was in a old part of the guide, because you fought the spider again. Okay.
I have explored every corner.
Okay.
The only place this can be is in this big section of level with the power grid that I've shut off. So this objective, dunzo. We have the disruptor.
Yeah.
All I
The
need...
maps are good, but the site's a little slow to load. Okay, I think you do need to stay on this map. Yeah. The power's being cut. Travel back through the road generators to arrive. The first one, yeah, let's just pick up stuff. Step back through the power matrix room and into the hallway. From here, we'll head south back through the fourth operation base entrance to turn to the atrium in the third operations base.
Oh, no.
So,
You're
that
fucking with
room
me?
that was it was like a big C shape?
Yeah.
With the tank in the middle.
Yeah, that's this. This is as far back as I can go.
Yeah. So, wait. You want to go to the east wing. To arrive in this location, head south from your current position, pass through the locked security door, then continue to the left to discover a guard that we assassinated first pass. Step over. Okay. So wait, what? Are you in that C right?
I'm going back to the C room because I know it can't be here. I know for a fact it can't be this
Yeah, I
east.
see it. Yeah, go. I don't know why I said east, but go left from here. And it should be this door. There we go. And you'll keep going left. You'll go through here, and there'll be a long room, and there's something you do at the end of this room. There's like a little, looks like a server fin. This fin. There we go. Okay. Some of the text a bit confusing, but I'll give the guide credit. They just show you which door you come into and which one you go out.
We were here when we picked up the disruptor, when we picked up the alien weapon.
But make sure you leave on the upper door.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. These both go to the same place.
Okay. And now you're going up.
Contemptuous!
And now you're going up again. So just... don't go in this bit. There's nothing worth going in there. So just keep going up and then go right, and then there should be a door you can leave.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta do a this much of a maze-like level. You need an overall map or radar system or something. Something.
I'm too close.
What the fuck was that? Oh!
So was I meant to get captured?
Yes. That's cute.
Looked like I got shot to death.
Yeah, not the audio. The audio there was...
Joanna, you must gather as much information on the alien ship as possible and get it back to the Carrington Institute.
Elvis, we don't meet you until the next game. In fact, it's in the next game where Joanna Dark's like, aliens exist?
Yeah.
So...
Who are you?
Run, coward.
You must stop dataDyne getting away with the alien wreckage.
What do you mean?
You must sink this ship and escape.
How?
I'm sorry, I can't help you any further.
And yeah, it is a bit Yoda-like, that impression.
Yeah, that's the
that's
same
the
voice
thing,
actor as
when-
Elvis from the N64 game, but
Yeah. For a long time, when Rare did use voice acting in games, it was just, who do we know? Who works at Rare? Or who do we know that can do... Like, almost, I think for a very long time, like, every lady was played by the lady who voices Joanna Dark here.
I found my pistol.
I think in that, you know,
It didn't do a stealth kill, even though I was right behind him, and my gun pressed to his fucking
you have to-
temple.
Nah, they want you almost clipping, it seems like.
Also, how am I supposed to take out both these guys? I have one gun,
And you don't know why.
I have one magazine, I have one health.
Remember the tip? If they guards can't tell what happens behind them. It's the rule.
This is so fucking low rent. This is fucking pathetic.
Alright.
Can't even hear the gunshot over that sampled speech.
Alright. Oh, I can see. I see what room you're in. Yeah. If I could keep up with you, I can say what guards aren't worth taking out to loot, at least. These guys don't have anything. So, what enemies drop is very set.
It's all static, all predetermined.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, if you want, there is a guard in the room to the left who has health. Or you can just exit.
Nope, I need the health.
Okay. So watch out, there'll be someone in front of the door. Well, the door next to it. There's a guard here. He has ammo. And then, yeah. No, he has nothing. But take him out for safety, yeah. But, yeah, he'll be facing right. Hopefully. Nope. I guess if you hadn't got into a gunfight earlier, he would have been facing that way.
This is fucking horrible. Does
I'll
this
say-
count as the third mission, by the way, or is this a continuation of the second?
This is technically chapter 5.
Of how many?
7. No. Actually, no. Sorry, that's extras. No, this is technically the final chapter.
What?
But there are 6 separate parts of this guide, so there's a lot of levels still. But this might be our wrap-up point.
Yeah, because I can't take no more. Good God. Yeah, we're dragging this out to a second part because we still got the multiplayer to show off. And there's apparently a lot of multiplayer.
Oh,
so...
okay. No, there is. Chapter 6 is the final level, but it seems shorter than this huge chunk.
Let's see, secrets unlocked. Oh, I unlocked an extra character and some more recon photos. Ooh, but we still only have 1 out of 4 multiplayer modes. Hey, maybe make it so you don't have to unlock the fucking multiplayer modes. Just have those available, so you can have, you know, like if you're gonna put characters in, whatever, fine. But like unlocking maps, modes, extras. This many maps, this many modes, this many extras.
You know, there is... I've been spoiled a little bit because of this website, but some of the multiplayer modes and extras is wild. That'd be something for the future.
Yes. As for right now, whoop. we'll pop out in front. I'll duck the volume a little bit more, and we can give some initial thoughts on this game.
Too much.
And also thank Blahats for putting out 10 gift subs. So now all y'all have to come back for episode 2 now, huh? Now if you have a gift sub, you're forced now. You're contractually obligate to show up for the next one. That's how that works.
Yeah, brought in, as they say. Yeah, but congrats to anyone who got a gift sub there.
We'll tell you how to maximize those, but spoiler, it involves the discord.gg/bghof, the game room server. But we'll get to that in the post show. For right now, Johnny, I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this game.
Yeah. I haven't heard much about this game outside of just, oh, here's all the content it has. Here's many modes of gameplay and things like that it had. This seems like, as an actual game, though, kind of abysmal, honestly. This seems rougher than I was expecting, honestly, because from what I can tell, we have the top-down mode, which is very basic in terms of how you can control into it. You know, you can do the walk, there's the run, there's like a very loose stealth mechanic with that, and that's about it. And you're shooting enemies, and you can't maneuver in a way to like effectively avoid damage or anything like that. And then there's all the different little bespoke gameplay sequences they do, which is a cool idea, but when you do so many different ideas, it doesn't feel like any of them are fleshed out to the point of being good.
Or even remotely
come off, like,
complete. Even remotely like a full thoughts.
The best, like, a lot of these seem like novelties that you don't ever want to do once. And, you know, most people don't even finish games they start, so maybe that's fine enough. But, like, even the first time through, a lot of this stuff does not seem fun. And getting further and further into the game, and now we're getting to maze-like maps with absolutely no guidance. Like, even outside of having a radar or a map screen, there's, like, no visual communication at all. Like, navigation here, I would have a hell of a time with this. I'm already bad enough with games without maps. The way how big some of those levels are, especially that dataDyne one. That was, like, going through that guide I found, it was just every time I kept button, it's like, oh no, there's like 5 pages of maps to browse through, and each one has like multiple screenshots. That's beyond the pale to me. But yeah, like, a lot of this game feels like they're going for back-of-the-box quotes, like, trying to be more impressive with the hardware than just being entertaining. Again, it's like, yeah, you got the digitized voices, and I'm sure it was probably the best sounding digitized voices on the system, but they still don't sound good. And I'd rather just have music. I don't really need footstep sounds or like realistic sounding guns. That doesn't add enough to make the sacrifice worth it. So there's that. Obviously we can't judge the multiplayer yet. From what I'm looking though, it seems very gimmicky. Doesn't seem very deathmatch based on what I'm looking up. But we'll see. But yeah, not capturing the spirit of the Nintendo 64 game, honestly. I was trying to think how you would. I was kind of wondering, would you try and do, I never remember the name of the games that started, or the genre you call it, but like the grid-paced RPGs, and then you would go into those like gallery shooting modes and do something like that. That I feel like might have been truer to what Perfect Dark is. And you probably could have done something way more interesting on that. This kind of abstraction, like, oh, we're just kind of going for like the vibe. And I don't even think they're getting that right. Yeah, no, worse than I was expecting, if I'm being honest.
Well, thank you for that take. I agree completely. All right, let's move on to the end of the show. No, I should probably... It's the priority. It's the prioritizing of showing off. It is a studio that has gotten too into their own head, that has convinced themselves that their technical wizardry is the reason why people enjoy their games as opposed to the gameplay. And it is them operating in full defiance of good taste, of good design, of good sense. It's crazy that they crammed all these different types of minigames and modalities into this. What's more wild is the fact that all of them play better than the core gameplay loop, which is a tedious fucking slog, the likes of which we have not encountered in quite some time on this here show. It's impressive how far off the mark the core gameplay of this game is, the thing that you spend most of the game doing. It's wild that they did not land on one of those other modalities being maybe most of the game should be this Operation Wolf-like, or fights that look like this and play like this, and then maybe as a little treat we can have a throwing star match over a fiery pit, and that can be the extent of the on-foot missions, as much as that sucked too. What an awful boss fight. What awful boss fights in general, except for the helicopter one. That was at least something. I didn't love it. And I don't love having to destroy things in sequence on a helicopter like that, going from left to right to left to right to left to right to center. And so it's the worst possible implementation of that, but it was still the standout moment of this video game so far. And that ain't good. Yeah, I think the biggest sin this game commits is having the name Perfect Dark. If this was just Lady Agent, this game would still be bad. It wouldn't, like, make up for the fact that the core gameplay loop is awful, for the fact that we're just spending so much time walking around in circles at this point, trying to solve for maps that you don't get an actual map to accompany you with, the fact that it opened so slow, the fact there's no music. But at the very least, by not calling this Perfect Dark, I wouldn't be thinking about fucking Perfect Dark for the N64 the entire time I'm playing this, being like, hey man, you know what game is good? You know what I wish I was playing? Perfect Dark for the N64 as opposed to this piece of shit. So it's a fucking disgrace in that sense of the word, and in that sense of definition, for the fact that it is besmirching the good name of one of the best games of all time with this fucking pitiful tie-in. And, you know, for as technically impressive as it's meant to be, as it may well be under the hood, it's also fucking ugly as sin. I fucking hate looking at this thing. I hate this fucking screen here with the green text on the black background that looks like shit with no background. I hate looking at Joanna's fucking stupid face in this, the way she's rendered. Everyone else's faces. I hate fucking looking at Max Danger. They fucked Elvis in this. The main menu, the title screen of this game looks like shit. So it's the worst possible first impression you can get after those title cards. The sprites are too fucking big, and it means that the entire game feels like it's zoomed in, and it makes all the weapons completely fucking ineffective. So, great, cool, you managed to cram a whole bunch of tiles, a whole bunch of simultaneous graphics onto the screen all at once. Too bad it all looks gaudy as hell, and doesn't flow into each other, and it makes me want to look away. So, I can't think of a single thing this game does right at this stage. I'm trying.
Also,
I am desperately, like, clawing, scratching at the door, trying to figure out, like, what can I say that's positive about this beyond the fact, like, it sure is impressive.
Yeah, and as I made the point, like, that's not enough. Like, yeah, you can get praise for achieving technical wizardry on a system, but the ultimate judge is it conducive to a entertaining game to play? And that's the big flaw with this, is it's not so far. And I can't imagine the later levels turning that around. Who we'll see with the multiplayer. There is some different stuff in the multiplayer, but I won't spoil it too much. But it's not just the base gameplay, the top-down stuff that we've seen.
Okay, that's good. That's promising, almost. I mean, that is the thing. I do recall some of the reviews saying, like, hey, the single player sucks, but hey, multiplayer, which is just wild to think about for a Game Boy Color top-down shooter, but, you know, sure. Fine. We'll let it cook next episode. After we finish the campaign, we will try out the multiplayer. If need be, I will get a full save so we have all of the secrets unlocked. All of the secrets, including, you know, 3/4 of the multiplayer content, you know, is a secret to everyone. Ooh. another fucking thing. For Rare's obsession with secrets and how fun it is unlocking cheat codes in Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, it's also a fucking pain in the ass. They're also assholes when it comes to a lot of that stuff. The way they hide that stuff, how out of the way, and just the secrets that they completely drop, like having cheese in every level in Perfect Dark, which was meant to tie into something that they just completely dropped. So now there's just all this cheese, and people are left wondering, what's with the fucking cheese in Perfect Dark? And it's there for fun. It's there as a mystery, and you can data mine, and maybe you can figure out what they were intending on doing before they got lazy or before they had to cut that feature.
That's interesting because there's a making of GoldenEye documentary by a YouTuber called On a Retro Tip, and they straight up say, On a Retro Trip, and they say there that it was just a dev signature, that levels that had that cheese chunk in it. There was, at least in that game, no grander thing. It was just, I'm doing it because I find it funny. And
that's the thing with Rare, though. That's the problem with Rare. One of many problems they have is that they, for that throw everything against the wall approach and having a bunch of B-teamers make GoldenEye, and that game actually turning out pretty good for it, and then Perfect Dark, actually being a better game, on N64 that is, don't get it twisted. Like, they are also, they're assholes.
They're cheeky bastards.
For all the sass they have in those things, like, it is like an almost antagonistic relationship with the audience because, what is there's a fine line between Easter egg and content we scrapped at the last second but didn't remove every trace of. And they've always been so fucking coy about what is and what isn't intended between the stop and swap, the cartridge swapping thing that they ultimately dropped from Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, the ice key, et al. I think, stuff in Jet Force Gemini, how many fucking secrets you have to collect in that game from collecting alien heads and unlocking stuff.
Yeah.
And just how many...
Not a secret, but there is a piece of chocolate in a level. I don't know if it happens multiple times, but in Conker's Bad Fur Day, I think it's like a sewer level straight up because it's a real video game, unlike this piece of shit. There's a piece of chocolate that's behind like a barred off tunnel, and it's old now, but there's like a let's play that a bunch of the devs did years ago, and the lead designer straight up says, "Oh yeah, no, I did that because I knew it'd piss people off because you can't get it."
And those are the people making our games. Those are the people making Perfect Dark for the N64 and for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, well, that's that's the thing. Like sometimes it works, that cheeky mentality, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, in fairness, I could also be cheeky. There's a part of me that does appreciate just trolling the player, having an active and apparent contempt for your audience. I'm a strong believer in that. But some of the stuff Rare does definitely crosses a threshold, and some of their designs, such as the design for this game, are a bit too much for them to fucking tackle. And so any secrets in this game, whatever stuff we're missing out, whatever we need to do to unlock those extra game modes and stuff that we're missing out on, that we're neglecting to do to fully complete this game. One of those reviews we mentioned, mentions like having to replay the single player in pursuit of all the secrets, and I'm not gonna fucking do that. You could not fucking pay me to replay this game once I'm done with it.
This feels more, it's a weird thing to say, but it's like paint by numbers, but paint by numbers that Rare, like their specific style of Rare, so they're trying to replicate the idea of, like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark having cheat codes and other unlockables tied to the clear times and having weird bespoke modes and all these little hidden things, and they're trying to replicate that, but without any of the real spirit and imagination ingenuity behind it. It's just like, well, that's Rare, that's what we do, and it just feels hollow so far in this.
But who's to say they don't turn it around in the second half, in episode 2 of this playthrough?
Yeah.
Who's to say that they don't fix the whole thing? Everything comes together, beautifully coalesces into the perfect game, the perfect Dark prequel.
Yeah.
We will have to see a week from now. But until then, I will say, folks, thank you for coming along with us on this episode 1 of our playthrough of Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color. What a mouthful. Thank you for coming along, for enduring with us. We will return in a week's time to see this game through to some sort of completion. With any luck at all. But we'll have some shows between now and then, like this Thursday, June 4th, where we will begin our patron-voted playthrough of You Are Empty, a wonderful bit of Russian alt history of Euro Jank, as I believe it is called. It is a fascinating game, one I am familiar with, when I am eager to show off. It won. It actually tied. It actually did tie in our most recent poll, games that attempt to present alt history. It tied with 2009's Damnation, which is alt Civil War history. So we will get around to Damnation. We will maybe even do them one after the other. Depends on what kind of mood You Are Empty leaves us in.
Yeah, and Darkest Day wasn't far behind. It was right down to the wire on that one.
We will play Darkest of Days on this show one of these days, come hell or high water. But for now, enjoy You Are Empty starting this Thursday. That'll probably be a two-parter as well. Saturday, June 6th, you can join us for a cup of J2ME, episode 2 of our newest series, our newest recurring segment, in which we play Java 2 Micro Edition games. So cell phone games, old cell phone games for the pre-smartphone era, games made in Java for the phones. How else can I rephrase it? How many other ways can I say it? It's gonna be possibly, I'm thinking we do the beach episode. I'm thinking we kick summer off with a beach and beach volleyball episode. So Java 2 Micro Edition games with a beach volleyball theme running through them. Unless we change our mind. Who's to say? You'll have to tune in and find out now, won't you? You can join us Monday, June 8th, for another episode of Casual Mondays, the show in which we play not-so-bad games and shoot the shit a little more casually. And it's one of those rare times where I'm going to tell you what we're going to do on Casual Monday, because we had to cancel our Casual Monday plans for yesterday. Internet issues got in the way of that. So this coming Monday, June 8th, we will be playing GoldenEye on Xbox Live Arcade, the unreleased prototype of GoldenEye for the XBLA, as well as the Wii reboots, GoldenEye 007 by way of Activision. We'll be comparing and contrasting two drastically different takes on GoldenEye. So that will be a fun one, to be sure. And hey, if you like Perfect Dark, you like hearing us talk about Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, maybe you'll enjoy watching me play some classic GoldenEye with some fancy graphics on top of it in the XBLA version. Then, of course, you can join us Tuesday, June 9th, a week from now, for episode 2, the conclusion to this, our playthrough of Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color. And we do hope to see you there. And hey, with all that being said, if you enjoy what you saw here tonight, you might consider joining our Discord server, discord.gg/BGHUF, a community of connoisseurs, talk good games, bad games, every game in between, things that aren't games. Join our Bad Game Club, which has a new game for the month of June. Johnny, tell them all about it.
Yep. I want to get the title right, so give me a second, because it's a long one. Yes, we are playing SAS Anti-Terror Force for the PlayStation 2, known as different names in different regions. A PAL exclusive attempt, I'm going to say attempt in quotes, at a tactical shooter from Bad Game Hall of Fame developer inductee, Atomic Planet.
Oh, yeah.
People been having fun with that. See if you can get past the one PlayStation 2 review I found that couldn't beat the tutorial level. That's the barrier of entry. Yeah, that's the bar this month. See if you can beat the tutorial and get forward. But yeah, another banner from Atomic Planet.
Very good. In case you don't know, the Bad Game Club, folks, is every month we pick out a new game for the community over on the Discord to commiserate over, to share tips and tricks with one another, strategies, pro tips at all, and mostly just to complain, to share in the pain of playing a bad game as a community. And it's been fun. It's been good to actively have that going for the past few months, and I do thank Johnny for keeping that wing of the Bad Game Hall of Fame actively maintained. And hey, if you really like what you saw here tonight on the show, you might consider financially supporting us by pledging on Patreon, subscribing on Twitch, or becoming a member on YouTube. Any or all of the above, or getting gift subbed, as often happens here during the show. You'll gain access on that Discord server, aforementioned, to a Patron Saints channel wherein you can vote in polls to determine upcoming playthroughs, like our upcoming playthrough of You're Empty. You can make suggestions in that channel that'll help steer the direction of the show. You can gain access to exclusive content, primarily by way of VODs, primarily by way of our Casual Mondays archive, over 160 hours, as of time of recording, of exclusive VOD content through that show alone. And, you know, you'll also have the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping support our suffering, our continued suffering in your Schadenfreude as the Bad Game Hall of Fame rides on. You'll keep us in bad games, help keep the lights on, and we do genuinely appreciate all of you who choose to do so. That being said, if you can't financially support us, we completely understand. If you're still looking for a way to help the show out that is free, might I recommend moseying on over to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@BadGameHallOfFame. And on our channel page, you will find a suggested viewing playlist. 20 handpicked episodes that we think make for some of the best onboarding onto this here show of ours, fit to share with folk you know who might go for video game stream archives in the 3 to 4 hour range. Maybe don't tell them the stream archives, just convince them it's just a fun video game show. That's what we try to do. We try to, I don't know if that's become apparent, I don't know if that's evident or not, I don't know if we've talked about it, but you know, part of the secret to our success, why we have any viewership on YouTube at all, is because we don't really like advertise them as stream archives. We just pretend it's a produced show. That's what we aim to do. We aim to put on a produced show 3-4 days out of the week. It's exhausting work, but there's also very little payoff. So, but we'll keep doing it anyway. And if you see fit to share it, maybe you have a Perfect Dark fan in your life, or a GoldenEye fan, someone who, you know, spent many an hour on the N64, dragging you along with them to play multiplayer. I certainly have friends who know that feeling. Friends who I have forced to play entirely too much GoldenEye and Perfect Dark multiplayer. And maybe they haven't heard of this Game Boy Color game, for good reason. But send this VOD their way. Let them see it in action. Let them know what they missed out on. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewers. And now the time has come in which we send folk the way. There's someone else streaming. Whoever else might be streaming at this particular hour. I'm gonna send folk the way of Sofar's Domain. Yes, that's Sofar, who is doing a sports game night. And I'm just fascinated to see someone doing a sports game night. I think that's actually a cute idea. We've been toying with ways to do like a sports themed segment just to knock out a bunch of sports games. Oh, they're even playing a multiplayer. It looks like they're playing some version of NBA Jam, possibly. So please let them know the Bad Game Hall of Fame sent you. And that will do it for us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I, of course, have been... what name did I give myself? I know it is Cassandra DeVry. DeVry. I'm Cassidy DeVry.
Yep. And I am Johnny Dark, aka Johnny Baghead.
Very good. Thank you one last time for tuning in, folks. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you later on down the road. And so until next time, bye-bye.
And toodles!